nicely now with 3:53 to go in the third. Alex
for Goodyear tires.
Alex. James Cook.
Service when you buy.
Defense turns to offense for the Bills.
Well, I love the Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Aloha, Edmonton. It's
Alex.
Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event.
Settle having the beats on Jersey. 18 seconds in.
Enjoy it.
4-3 in overtime.
Snacks and beverages all day. Eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
The cookie that gives back is back. Get a holiday smile cookie at Tim's from November 17th to 23rd. 100% of proceeds are donated to local charities, community groups, and Tim Hortons Foundation camps. Grab yours today.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save on Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Steps up, delivers downfield, separates it, catch made, touchdown, James Cook. Defense turns to offense for the Bills.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Settle having won the beats on Jersey scores. 18 seconds in. Rebels 4-3 in overtime.
Well, a magnificent Monday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, whether you want casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, sports, they got it all at PlayAlberta.ca. Make a $50 deposit, use the promo code Gregor50, and they will give you another $50. PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers on the road tonight. They will take on the Buffalo Sabres, where Edmonton has struggled to win. They've only won one of their last 5 visits in Buffalo, and all 5 games had the exact same 3-2 score. We'll see if maybe there can be a little bit more offense. One of those was a shootout, one in overtime. Then the Oilers won once in regulation, lost twice in regulation as well, all by a weirdly 3-2 score. So we'll see if they can find a way. You get a win tonight, and suddenly you got 4 wins to start the road trip, which is pretty good. Pretty good for the Oilers. So big win in Carolina on Saturday, and Or no, sorry, they'd have 3 wins. My bad. Because I got 3 games left on the road trip: Washington, Florida, and Tampa Bay. Definitely not an easy week. 4 games in 6 days. By Saturday night, the Oilers will have played the most games in the National Hockey League at 24. They're tied with a few teams today at 20, but by Saturday night, they will have played the most games. So they've had a hectic schedule. They've had a lot of road games on that schedule, and that will help them later on in the season. Should be a little bit less fatigued potentially, especially when you don't have to go to the Eastern time zone after Christmas. I think their last Eastern Zone time game is like December 18th or something. So that should, in theory, help them. Carolina, hey, anytime you can win on the road in Carolina, it's a good game. Stuart Skinner played well. Their big dogs have woken up in November. Connor McDavid has, 16 points his last 8 games, played very well. Ekholm and Bouchard, after getting pumped in 4 goals against in October, have stopped the bleeding. 8-6 for Bouchard, 7-6 for Ekholm in the month of November. Jack Roslovic's playing well. Zach Hyman comes back, gives him a huge boost. I think emotionally, physically, chips in with an assist as well. Leon Draisaitl continues to score goals. Now, as we enter the second quarter, I think the team, I don't care if it's your first pair, your second pair, your third pair, who's ever out on the ice with your bottom 6 has to be better, because they are getting pumped when McDavid or Draisaitl aren't on the ice at all. You look at even Bouchard's 1-5 goals for against. Ekholm's 3-7. Those guys aren't even doing it. Darnell Nurse hasn't been on the ice for a goal. If it's when he's not on the ice with McDavid and Draisaitl. Now he does play twice as many minutes, so keep that in mind. But still, you got to find a way to contribute down the lineup. Now with Hyman, I think the line's maybe a little bit more set. When they get Nugent Hopkins back, he can, I think, help their third line even more. But in the next quarter of the season, they're going to need better production from their third and fourth lines, both offensively and defensively. And I'm going to throw in all 3 of the D pairs who are out there as well. We'll talk about that. We got lots of talk on the Grey Cup. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, pretty convincing victory over the Alouettes. It was close, man. It was close. A fumble on the 1-yard line basically cost Montreal a chance to potentially tie that game. They still would have needed a 2-point convert, but oh my goodness, that was a brutal play. We'll get into that. Dave McCarthy will be by. Mike Carrington will give us the Buffalo Sabres side of things. It's another year, and it's same old with the Sabres. They're in the basement of the Eastern Conference. Is it ever going to change? We'll find out. For Walker will join us for the pregame show at 4:00. We got Spec later on at 5. 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Sean Brown's going to join me in studio here momentarily. We'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our email inbox, or you can text us, be part of the show. The Oilers, hey, that's a huge win for them over Carolina. Now see if they can continue on what's been a fairly busy road trip to start this, really the whole season for them. The Grey Cup was interesting. The NFL had some great games. The Denver Broncos just continue to win. The Chiefs in a little bit of trouble. They're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but they are in a little bit of trouble as they are 5-5. And Patrick Mahomes he missed open receivers too often in that game. Anybody who was watching that game, he had guys beat behind the defense of the Broncos, couldn't connect. And they're 5-5. The Bills had a huge performance from Josh Allen. The Steelers, they win, but they lose their quarterback. The Ravens have won 4 in a row. Watch out for the Ravens. The Colts are 8-2. And what about this? Hands up, anybody in the football world who thought the Chicago Bears at the 10-game mark of the season would be leading the NFC North. Well, they are 1 point up on the Detroit. 1 win on the Detroit Lions, 1 point, I guess, technically, on the Packers, who are 6-3-1. But good for the Bears, man. They continue to find ways to win and are becoming competitive. The Panthers had an unreal game from their young quarterback. Young getting back in after missing time, throws 450 plus passing yards, and they're 1 game back of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has that game in hand, so we'll see what happens there. The Rams got a big win over the Seahawks, and you do wonder, is Sam Darnold good until it matters? That's going to be the question. Last year was great till he got to the playoffs, laid an egg. This year was great till he got to that big game yesterday against the Rams, and he threw 4 interceptions. So lots going on in that world. Big free agent signing in the NHL and MLB. Josh Naylor stays in Seattle. Adrian Kempe is remaining with the LA Kings for 8 more seasons, $10.65 million. So my goodness, if you're planning, if your goal was, hey, maybe we're going to sign this guy as a free agent, there's really not any big names out there to sign as a free agent. As we welcome in studio Sean Brown. Brownie, how you doing?
Good. Yeah.
You can lift it up there.
Well, last week it was too low. No,
rookie. Just sitting there, no clue how to turn the mic on. I love it.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend. It's nice to get the Christmas tree up and get some Christmas music going and stuff. It was a good weekend. Watched the a little bit of the Grey Cup there too as well.
The Oilers against Carolina. Come on, great start. You're up 2-0. They did struggle at times with the relentless forecheck of Carolina. Edmonton's, I thought that game kind of epitomized their first quarter of the season. Really good stretches with some bad stretches in between. And that's kind of really, if we look at their first 20 games, they've had a great period here or two, and they dominate, like the Philly game, for instance. Philly has 5 shots, 35 minutes in the game, but Edmonton only scores once. They end up needing overtime to win, right? I think Stuart Skinner's, he's 3-0 in his last 3 starts. They've all needed overtime to win. So the good news is you're winning games, but the Oilers still aren't, I think, where they want to be.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the consistency in their game isn't quite there, but I think you touched on it. The fact that they're getting points and they're just hanging around, which, I guess, if you look at the positives of that, right? It's good teams just find a way to hang around. And now you got Hyman coming back. Eventually, obviously, you're going to have Nugent Hopkins coming back, and just, some of these veteran guys are going to kind of work their way through some of the, where they're at right now in their game. So driving into the radio station today, I was just thinking that. I was like, you know what? It's not great, but the fact that they're there and they're hanging around, and that's when you got the 2 best players too, that they allow you to hang around as well.
Well, the best players have really emerged lately. Connor McDavid's last 5 games has easily been his best 5 games of the season, I would think. Echo and Bouchard are playing better. You get Zach Hyman back. Jack Roslovic has really stepped up here and given them a legit, complimentary threat in the top 6. You get Zach Hyman back. He had tons of emotion and physicality to the lineup, but now it's a matter of they need some guys down the lineup here to wake up. And I wonder if maybe because there should, in theory, be a little bit more consistency with the lines now with Hyman back and Roslovic the way he's playing, so you kind of know who your top 6 is. But they just need more from their bottom 6 here. They don't need to carry the team. They just got to contribute.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's the one good thing about their top players, McDavid, Draisaitl, you never really have to worry about those guys. They're always your top players. But that concern of the bottom 6 has concerned me for a while now, is just the identity. And it's nice to see Hyman come in there. And what did he have? I think he had 8 or 9 hits.
11.
Oh, 11 hits, right? That, that doesn't surprise me. That's an NHL player. That means a lot to this team, but it's also says to me that guy's been watching a lot of hockey, and he sees and knows what this team needs. And the fact that he came in there and played with that type of energy and that type of physicality just speaks volumes to me of what they're kind of lacking. And I kind of thought there would be more guys that would kind of jump on board and maybe, play with that type of enthusiasm and and kind of take the lead from him. There's still guys at the bottom 6. I don't feel like they've really found their identity of who they are. And, you're going to run out of time. You're going to eventually force, Stan Bowman and these guys to look to see, are they going to have to bring someone in? I think at some point, that's got to be a serious need.
Yeah. When Kapanen and Nugent Hopkins come back to this lineup, you just look at where other guys are going to fit in, right? It'll make a big, I think it's going to be lots of competition, right? David Tomasic, I think he's not in the lineup again. So I would guess there's a, pretty decent chance that when Nugent Hopkins and Kapanen come back, he's not the guy here. They're going to have to send someone else down as well to make that room. And then it's going to be a competition, right? Like Trent Frederick, it's clear the coach is, hey man, I tried to get you out of your slump, but he's playing 8-10 minutes a night right now, which obviously isn't good for any player. He's got to play better. He's got to be more consistent. Find a way to get engaged in the game. Stop worrying about goals. I get you want to contribute, but the minute you start thinking of that and then you're not contributing elsewhere, you're done as a depth guy. Goals are the bonus for him. And don't go out there and fight the league heavyweight and then do nothing physically the other 19 games. To me, that's the most dumb approach to playing physical that I can think of, right? Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to fight the toughest guy and I'm going to get spanked. And that's fine. I don't criticize guys for fighting. But how many other games how many times have we seen Tread Frederick piss off the opposition this year? Anytime?
Yeah.
Like, even in that Columbus game, like, you know what? His teammates were very thankful for what he did. Great. Like, it takes guts to do it, but get some emotion. Like, I felt the last game in Carolina, like Mangiapane stirred the pot a little bit, right? Like, that's what he should be doing, right? Stir the pot. You don't need to fight Olivier, but my goodness, Frederick's got to do something.
Yeah, no, a lot of his game, and there's others as well, Janmark, Nurse, where, the other qualities and good parts of their game start to show when they're physical. And Frederick is no different. That, I wouldn't expect anyone to fight. That when they play a certain style, probably some of that is going to come. And you know what, when you're out there playing physical and you're creating some energy and guys are reacting to you, sometimes you can pass up a fight too, right? It's not like you even have to fight, because maybe you've done enough with your physicality to get the crowd into it, to give your team a little bit of an edge that, it'd be nice to pick and choose. Where, when he fought, who was the guy he fought in Columbus there, that tough guy?
Olivier.
Olivier, he just went out there and basically chased him around the ice a little bit and fought him, where, let your game dictate that, right? Go around, skate, hit, be physical. Once again, let's have more teams reacting to the physicality and how the Oilers are playing, or how certain guys have to play. Let's not go chasing it around. Let it come to them a little bit. I never did, driving in, I think you were talking about Clattenburg, and I'm assuming he asked you a question, Low Tide asked you a question on whether he should come up or not. Where are you at with that? Because I think that's the perfect guy to bring up here. Why not?
Well, I've talked to people down there. People are seeing that, you're seeing that he's fighting, so he's willing. Lots of guys are like, he's got areas of his game away from the puck and everything else. Is that NHL ready? I've been told no, not yet. And that's not a knock on the player. The other thing is, lots of people want him to come up here as a 20-year-old rookie and have to be the straw that stirs the emotional drink. It's embarrassing and frankly disrespectful to say, hey, we need Clattenburg to come up here and play with aggression. No, Trent Frederick, grab a pulse, get some Darnell Nurse, look in the damn mirror, play with some aggression. Like, putting your hopes on a 20-year-old rookie who I'm not sure is, well, from what I've been told, is not ready to play in the NHL. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Guy's played 18 pro games. Now, his style, I get that you would be intrigued in his style of play. I understand it. But you can't just run around in the NHL, Brownie. You know that more than anything else. And if it's about fighting, lots of guys like, well, I'm just going to say no. Well, then what do you bring? Right? Well, kind of, and I know he's physical. That's the one thing he'll bring, is energy.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got to be able, you read the play. You got to make some plays with the puck. And he can skate well enough. That's what I know. I learned it in preseason. I saw his speed. No problem. I think it's an option maybe later in the year. I don't think it'd be an option right now.
I'd rather bring him in now than later. I mean, I'm not talking a long-term fix, but why not reward the guy for what, he's doing in the minors and show that there's value to this, right? Show there's value to your minor league guys, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, if you play the way we, expect you to play and drafted you to play, like, we're going to reward you. So, well, I don't see why, him getting up here for, 3 or 4 games to show, like, hey, and you get to know where he's at, right? It's good for his development too. It just keeps the fire burning.
If that's the point, but I've been reading people say how, Clattenburg, and he's going to fight these guys. And
it's not even about fighting. Okay. I wouldn't have him come up here.
That was my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Most people online who say Clattenburg should come up and fight wouldn't fight their shadow. Don't ever tell that this 20-year-old rookie should come up to the NHL, and he's not a heavyweight, to fight tough guys. Yeah. Give me a break.
Well, I would assume that if he just came up and just played with some energy, that's where Nurse and, some of the veteran guys would have to step up and protect him a little bit. Okay. Right? But it would drag them into the fight a little bit.
I guess my concern about that is, Brownie, that if I need a 20-year-old rookie to drag Nurse and Frederick into the fight, then I got a bigger problem. Nurse and Frederick should be able to bring themselves into the damn fight, and they should be the ones to look around the room right now and be like, hey, guess what? What's happened in the first quarter? We've had very little emotion.
Yeah.
So I'm not scoring. I can at least do that.
Yeah.
So I'd like, let's start with Frederick doing that.
Yeah. It is a concern that it's not, coming within. But like I said, I think as an organization, you can show that there's you see some value in this type of play.
Well,
right. That sends a good message or strong message to your group that's with the current team. And it sends a message to your young guys too. Like if you're playing well, you're going to get your opportunity.
Well, that is a valid point.
Win-win.
Because I would say, I think at times I'm not sold that this organization consistently has valued guys who play with energy. It's not being something that's really been commanded or encouraged to have it. Now they went out and you know what? Hey,
but there was a time when
but I'm talking recent memory, right? Like I'm not talking the 80s is irrelevant to today. I'm talking, look at the orders and you know what? Hey, they had Kane. Kane came in. Ken Hall. Now, Kane was a skill player, so he's a little bit different, right? Like he was a top 6 forward who happened to have some truculence and physicality to his game. It's a rare kind of breed of player. Clattenburg's not that. But when was the last bottom 6 forward that they brought in who was aggressive and a pest?
Would that have been Carrick? But it to me, it kind of changed when they brought in.
Well, they traded
Lucic
for Sam Carrick, but then guess what? They opted to re-sign Derek Ryan over Sam Carrick.
Yeah. And look at Carrick now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I just to me, I'd like to see, and I'm not even talking fighting. I'm talking, when was the last time Darnell Nurse ragdolled anybody in front of his own net? Right? When was the last time he straight armed a guy? When was the last time he looked at someone in the face and not just a little after the whistle, and then I look away and I hold you like this, Brownie? Like to do this all the time. Like, I'm sorry. I need to see more from him. I need to see more from Frederick. And hey, if I think Clattenburg maybe is progressing to a guy who has a chance, but you know what? You do need, just the truth of the matter is you need a little bit more rounding out of your game to come to the NHL.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a small fix to go and try and find something like that. I mean, those are those harder players for Stan to make a deal with.
There's not many of them. So. Sure. There's not many of those guys, but guess what? That's your job. Like, it's kind of something that I think is, now you want guys who can do it with skill. And I'm not sold that Clattenburg is a skilled enough NHL player today. I need to see him more at the end. I know he can run around and he'll play with emotion and he'll give you everything he has. I have no doubt about that. But does everything he have, is it good enough to be an NHL player?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's 20. He's still trying to figure out his game.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that bottom 6 is definitely a concern, that it's something I can't, get over when you look at Lazar and Phelp and Tomasak and Janmark, I mean, there's a number of guys that it's like the opportunity is right there for you, right? Yeah. If you can play that way, you're going to be consistently in the lineup. That's where I look for a guy. I look for more of a guy like Phelp to kind of take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I don't think it's in his game.
No.
I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Dave McCarthy is going to join us when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I've got a lot of people texting, hey, get Jack Finley from Tampa. Well, I can tell you right now, Tampa Bay drafted him. He's a young player, big forward, second-round draft pick. They're not trading him. They finally think that he's starting to develop into the guy that they drafted, and they've developed for the last few years. So I get why you'd like Jack Finley. There's no chance Tampa Bay, who doesn't have a lot of youngsters in their organization, is going to be trading him away. And unless I guess you want to grossly overpay for Jack Finley. I don't see that type of a deal coming. And let's just, like, we don't have to look outside. Look internally. How about just play with more emotion? Full stop. Kane wasn't here last year. I have a lot of people. Oh, Kane didn't play at all last year in the regular season. He's kind of irrelevant to the conversation, right? Connor Brown didn't hit anything. Like, let's be honest, he wasn't physical, right? Jeff Skinner wasn't physical. Arvidsson wasn't physical. They lost Corey Perry. You're telling me that a 40-year-old was the only guy that can play with some nuts? Give me a break. Just look at the guys in a room and challenge them. Play better defensively. Let's start there. Like, playing with more emotion helps, don't get me wrong. But the lack of emotion isn't necessarily the thing that's causing them to lose games. It's the lack of accountability defensively that's crushed them. And doesn't help when your bottom six doesn't score at all. So they're getting outscored. But every defense pair who isn't on the ice when McDavid's on the ice is getting crushed. So they got to be better there. And emotion would help. But look, Zach Hyman came in and hit everything that moved. I didn't see other guys all of a sudden get empowered by that. So if Zach Hyman in 23 minutes can't wake up some of his own teammates, you think Clattenburg in 7 minutes is going to? Like, I'd rather not put that on a youngster. I'd look around and say, hey, Darnell, grab a clue. Let's play physical. Trent Frederick, hello. Curtis Lazar, go down the list of guys. Add a little more just consistent tenacity to your game. And when that happens, I'm not going to be shocked that the Oilers will start winning on a more consistent basis, because one of the most important things has come around, and that's their best players are their best players again. That gives you a really good chance to win. Now you throw in some of the other things, but a little bit more consistent focus and intensity, winning battles, they'll play better when that happens. And hey, I hope Clattenburg gets into the show someday, but if you're at the point where you think that's the last resort, then you got no faith in the roster. So I would just look at the roster for Matthias Janmark, run around, piss somebody off. You can stick guys. I don't think it's that hard. Let's get to our big guest of the day now, brought to you by Summit Restaurant. If you haven't been, is it good? Check it out in the Silent Rice Arena on the just minutes from South Edmonton. A great facility, also a great restaurant. You can watch in the game on either rink and enjoy it. Exceptional house-made pizza. Check it out at Summit Restaurant. Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us. Davey, how you doing?
I could not be more in agreement with what you guys were just saying about going through a tough time as a group. The answers do not come from outside. I had John Michael Lyles on the brunch yesterday, and I asked him about circumstances that were similar that he was in during his career. And what he told me is that it came to a point, and we're only talking about teams that have expectations coming into the year. That's all that matters. Like if you're a rebuilding team, the conversation's moot. We're talking about teams that have expectations coming into the year, like Edmonton, like Toronto. And when you get out to a poor start, it's not who are you going to bring in and who are they going to get. It's the guy. The reason you're off to a slow start is because the guys in the room who have done it and can do it and have showed they can do it are not doing it. And the only way that you turn that around is that those guys start to play better. So he said, we would have some tense meetings. We would challenge each other. And then you either turn it around or you don't. But when you're a group that has expectations and comes into the year and starts poorly, the answers come from within, not from outside. Simple as that.
Oh, could not agree more with that. Now, there are a few teams I want to get to. Here we are. It's at they've played a quarter of their season. And I'll be honest, man, they've really surprised me. The Boston Bruins are top of the Atlantic Division right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Now, Swayman's first few games, his numbers were terrible. So if people just look at his numbers like, oh, he's not playing well, he's been really good in the month of November for the Boston Bruins. Are you a believer, Dave, in the Bruins?
Well, they have shown me a lot more than I was expecting to see from them. I thought they were going to be terrible this year. I really did. Now that Charlie McAvoy is out long-term, that is going to be a huge hole to fill. This guy plays in every situation for Boston, is their best defenseman. And I don't know if they've necessarily got the depth to withstand the loss of a guy like that for a long period of time. You look at their forward lineup right now. Look, Morgan Geekie has played extremely well. He's taken another step in his career in terms of what I think everybody expects out of the guy. Is that who he is now? Or is that a really good first month, 5 weeks? Will he come back to earth a little bit? Maybe. Alex Steeves is filling in admirably right now, but we've never seen him play important minutes in the top 6 role for an extended period of time in the National Hockey League before. There's a question mark there. Beyond that, are they going to score enough? So I've got a question there too. I think they're going to need to continue to win games low scoring. Their goaltending is going to need to continue to be great. If it's not, I think the margin for error in Boston is very small, which is to say if they aren't structured, they don't get above average goaltending. If any of those things start to show cracks and start to erode, I think Boston is a little bit vulnerable. But to this point in the year, they've shown me a lot more than I was expecting them to show me.
Dave, where are you? It looks like things are kind of heating up in Toronto. I think Craig Berube, there was that headline there where he came a little unglued in practice. How much are the Leafs missing a guy like Mitch Marner? Or was he, something there, someone they took for granted?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think Craig came unglued. I'm not saying you're saying he's unglued, but I think that's what they need to have. Like, he was precise in his demands. He's explained the system, how he wants them to play. It worked last year. So just effing do it hard, and do it right. And what their real problem right now, I think, Sean, is not that they're missing Mitch Marner. They've scored just fine. They coming into Saturdays, actually, they scored the second most goals in the league. They've scored enough to win games. It's that they're shooting themselves in the foot time and again in their own end, making horrible decisions with the puck, plays that they know better than to try to make. And it's not coming from young guys. I don't have a lot of young guys in the lineup. It's coming from guys like Jake McCabe, who hasn't been very good, or Philip Myers, who was a quality kind of 5'6" guy last year from a fill-in standpoint. He does not look like a National League player this year. You've got William Nylander. There's good Willie, Sean, on a lot of nights, and there's on those same nights bad Willie, where it's making decisions with the puck or trying things that have such a small chance of success and such a high risk of having bad things happen if it doesn't work out. He's played poorly in that regard, albeit he's been productive, but you need better than that. You can't have bad decisions coming from your top players. It sets a poor standard in terms of what is acceptable. So, look, I think the only place they really miss Mitch Marner right now, Sean, is on the power play, because he would be the guy that would transport the puck up the ice. And he was at times a one-man zone entry. And I still think that unit is trying to figure out how they want to play in his absence. But 5-on-5 hasn't been an issue. And if any of the guys, none of the guys are. But if any fans are suggesting that is the reason, I hate to say they're sorely mistaken.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have won 4 of their last 10, 4-3-3. Are they slowly coming down to earth? Is the air just slowly coming out of the balloon?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, they found a way to pick up 3 or 4 points in Sweden, which was successful. Now you come back. There's always a bit of a letdown and an air out of your balloon when you come back from a trip like that. So we'll see how they fare in the next week here. Again, I don't expect them. I didn't expect them to have the success that they've had at the beginning of the year. The good news, though, for Pittsburgh is you look at that division. Now Jack Hughes is out long-term. That's going to affect New Jersey to a fairly significant extent, I think. I think Carolina's still good and will continue to be good. I think the Rangers are figuring out the type of team that they want to be. On the road, they've been really good. On Saturday, they were excellent in terms of their structure. They didn't give Columbus really anything. They should have been up way more in that game than 1-0. It was 20-4, the shots when they went up 1-0. Jet Greaves was unbelievable. So I think New York the Rangers will continue to push. I don't think Philly's there. Columbus has been up and down. I was expecting maybe a little bit more out of them, to be honest with you, like we've seen out of the Ducks to start this year. But they're in the mix right now in Pittsburgh. The same thing, though, is it's the margin for error. If Crosby or Malkin or Erik Karlsson go through any period of time where they're in a bit of a rut individually, they don't have the horses to overcome that once you look beneath the production that they're delivering right now. So if their top guys continue at this level, yeah, I think they can hang in the race. Is it reasonable, though, to ask guys who are 37, 38, 39 years of age to play at that level for that amount of time? I don't know that it is. So let's revisit the Penguins in another couple of weeks before I'm really ready to make a call. But they've given themselves a chance, and that's a lot more than I think a lot of people were expecting at this point in the year from Pittsburgh.
Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM joins us. Jack Hughes is out minimum 8 weeks by the looks of it. Cut his hand on a glass at a team party. Unfortunate for the Devils. It looks like their streak of no 100-point players is going to continue for another season at least. Freak injuries off the ice have happened many times. There's a few beauties. I remember Glenn Allen Hill of the Blue Jays who had a nightmare and was sleepwalking and got out of his bed running and then ran into a glass table and was out for a long time. Sammy Sosa, who took so many steroids that he sneezed so hard that he strained his back That was a classic one. Hey, Eric Johnson on the golf cart. Remember that one where he got his foot lodged in between the accelerator and the brake and was out for a while. This one obviously is not funny because glass is no joke. But how do you think the Devils handled the void of Hughes?
Well, it's going to be a challenge for them because, look, Nico Hischier has been a little slower to start the season as well. And Jack Hughes has been so productive. So now you're, taking a guy in Hughes out of the lineup in all of his production. You're also asking a guy who has been a little slower to start the year in Hischier to elevate in the lineup and take on even more responsibility. So, are you asking too much of Nico Hischier? Beyond that, Dawson Mercer's been okay. Connor Brown's been hurt. He started out really well. Now he's out. That's been a big loss. So, look, I think they're going to be okay in New Jersey, and they've built themselves a really nice cushion, which affords them the ability to go into the tank for a little bit. But they're playing $750 right now. So long as they can play .500 hockey, they're going to be fine. But their goaltending is going to need to be good, and they're going to have to really, once again, rely on structure, which at times can elude them in New Jersey, like a lot of young teams. It's you play structure when you feel like it, but you don't always feel like it. And the good teams are the ones that do it game in and game out. So, that's going to be the key for New Jersey. If they can do that, they can get good goaltending. I think they'll be okay. And, you hope you get Jack Hughes back. Maybe maybe around the early part of the new year, hopefully. There still should be lots of time. So I'm not totally panicked about New Jersey, but it's a shame because, Hughes was playing great. From a fan standpoint, he was a reason to tune in because of what he was doing on a nightly basis. He's an exciting guy to watch.
Dave, with it being an Olympic year, is there anyone that you have that you didn't have maybe on the roster? Any surprises?
For Canada?
Yeah.
I think Scott Wedgwood is demanding our attention, isn't he? In Colorado? Like, their goaltending is a question mark for a number of different reasons, either through injury in Aiden Hill or through underperformance in Jordan Binnington and Sam Montembeault. Now, let's not get crazy here. I think Jordan Binnington is going to be on the team. I think he's earned the right, given what he did at the Four Nations, to be on the team, to at least be one of the three. But I think after that, it's an open conversation right now. I think you got to look at who's playing the best. Logan Thompson, his numbers are jumping off the charts. I think he should be in consideration. And then you're looking for a third goalie. And I'll tell you, even before he's carried the load quite effectively in Colorado, I've always liked Scott Wedgwood's game. He's a professional goalie. His structure is good in the net. He doesn't seem to be swimming all over the place. I think he inspires calm when you watch him play the position, which is something I always like to see in my goalies. And he's no maintenance as well. So if you're looking for a third guy, at this point, I think you could do a lot worse than Scott Wedgwood. And I never would have said that coming into the year, but I think he's played so well on the best team in the league and plays the position in a style that I think is really reassuring and reliable to management, that I think you have to give him strong consideration. And my understanding is that he is starting to get a look or two in terms of just how well he's played. So he would be the guy. Probably doesn't make much of an impact. Like if Jordan Binnington ultimately is not the guy who's playing, it may indicate other problems. But like I said, if you're looking for a second or third goalie, I think you could do worse than Scott Wedgwood right now.
Yeah, well, he might be the number 3, but I'd be stunned. I think Darcy Kemper would probably be ahead of him on the after what he did last year. Easily probably could have won the Vezina if you actually look at his numbers. And he was in a much tougher environment than Hellebuck was in Winnipeg. It will be interesting. Like Hughes, they're saying he gets reevaluated in 8 weeks. So if like what happens to him if all of a sudden they get to late January and they don't know, does he not get on the team? Drew Doughty just got injured. And, I think he definitely wants to make it. And I always love Drew's honesty. He's like, yeah, of course I'm thinking about the Olympics, right? Like, yeah, I want to make it, right? Now, it doesn't mean he's not thinking about the NHL, but yeah, he wants to be there. He's ultra competitive guy. And he probably knows that, man, I don't have many more of those opportunities in my career. Like, we're probably not going to the cup. Like, maybe he thinks they can, but I will be interested. Do you think Schaefer has a chance to be one of the 8 defensemen? Maybe not one of the starting 6, but do you think he could be 7 or 8?
Well, I think he, in order to do that, needs to continue to demand attention. And so far through 5 weeks, he has. What I would say about Matt Schaefer is that he's going to be a guy that will be a big part of that program down the road. The question is, do you want to expose him to it now? And if you need to go to him, do you think he can handle it? I don't think I think if you're going to bring him, you bring him with the expectation that the only way he gets in the lineup is if something catastrophic happens, hopefully not, knock on wood, to Cale Makar, because I think he plays a very similar style of game. John Michael Lyles on my show yesterday covers the Avs. I asked him if he reminded him of a young John Michael Lyles. He laughed and said, no, but he reminds me of Cale Makar a little bit, a left-handed Cale Makar. His ability to transport the puck, silky smooth, that is a skill set that you cannot teach. And I do think you need. He's a guy that can be really effective on the power play. And what would lend me to be comfortable with bringing a guy like Matt Schaefer is that his maturity level is off the charts. I don't think you have to worry about anything off the ice when it comes to Matthew Schaefer. And I think in big moments, he has the disposition where he would be able to handle it and not be overcome by the gravity of the moment. So because of that, because of his maturity, because of his unique skill set, I would lean, if he continues to play well over the next 3 or 4 weeks, I would give it a long, serious look, because I just think the guy has been that good. What he's done at 18 years and 2 months is incredible. And I don't think can be overlooked, because it's really hard to do. And he continues seemingly to get better.
Davey, should be an interesting week. Lots of injuries on the weekend in the National Hockey League. And now McAvoy, at first I thought, maybe he wasn't going to get that hurt. It was just a tooth. And now he's going to need surgery. So he's out. Arvidsson's out.
Harley.
Harley. Doc adds to the walking wounded Gooley and Newhook, and Montreal's slowly starting to show some cracks. So getting into that stretch now, the second quarter, to see where we might see some separation, because everybody's still close. But yeah, I think it's because we've had like 87 overtime games, so it's keeping it closer due to the OT loss than anything else.
Yeah, no, it seems like 3 points are being passed out on a nightly basis these days. But like I said to you on my show a couple of weeks ago, I'm not necessarily against the parity through a quarter of the season, because you don't want teams to be 15 to 18 games into the year and have to look ahead on the schedule and say, holy cow, we are donezo and we've got 4.5 months left. It's not good for the quality of the games. It's not good for the fan bases. I kind of like the fact that there's a majority of teams still in the mix here through 5-6 weeks.
Davey, good to catch up with you, buddy. We'll talk to you on the brunch on Sunday.
See you, boys.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you. Hey, talk about the need to win and what it feels like next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter watches the big game. Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter?
The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch. Wow. Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter. For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition Blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.248, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Oilers, of course, in Buffalo tonight to take on the Sabres. It'll be Skinner versus Ellis. And no lineup changes for the Edmonton Oilers after their win in Carolina. So Tomasic and Emberson are the healthy scratches tonight. Nugent Hopkins and Kapanen are still injured. Let's get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. As we are joined by Dave Naylor from the CFL on TSN. And Dave, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, man, they were in control a lot, but Montreal, they're a yard away from making that a real nail biter.
Yeah, turnovers is a big stat, and as we know, there were 4 of them for Montreal in the game, but not all turnovers are created equal. I mean, there's one of them that's basically an arm punt, and doesn't really change the field and doesn't change the flow of the game. But a fumble like that on the goal line, with the score being what it was, 8 points, at that stage of the game, is about as backbreaking a turnover as you can have. And I know Montreal, still got a shot at it. Gassaf missed the field goal, but I mean, it's almost like the same way one of Saskatchewan's losses to Montreal in the Grey Cup was defined by the 13th man, and like everything else that happened in that game is forgotten. I forgot that Montreal has a huge comeback in that game. Nobody knows it's that. All they remember is the 13th man. I think probably that's what Grey Cup 112 will turn into. Just like, the locally here in Toronto, people still talk about the Leon McQuaid fumble in 1970. Well, I think in Montreal and in Saskatchewan, they're going to talk about the Shea Patterson fumble. And I got to tell you a little story, actually. When the game ended last night, I was down on the field, and I watched Shea Patterson with his helmet off. I think his helmet was off. At one point it was. Anyway, yeah, his helmet was off. And he walked just very slowly towards the end, the tunnel. He wasn't in a hurry. And I just looked at him. I thought, I can't imagine what he's feeling. And there were probably about a half dozen players that stopped him on the way to the locker room and just to put their arms around him, just to say something to him. And about half of them played for Saskatchewan, which was the team that he played for last year. So it was just one of those moments that you just feel for a guy with what goes into a season, what goes into a Grey Cup game, what goes into a playoff run. And, to be the guy who fumbled on the one. I saw the comment that he made afterwards, that he said it was indescribable how he was feeling at that point.
Trevor Harris, he was really good. What can you say about the offensive line and the protection that he got?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a big strength of Saskatchewan all season. And, one of the things is they start 4 American offensive linemen. I believe they're the only CFL team that does that. And of course, you say, well, why don't other teams do that? And, you've got good Canadian offensive linemen in the league, but when you start Americans, you're going to have more depth, when you have injuries and maybe more to choose from. Well, the only way you can do that is if you've got elite Canadians at other positions. I mean, they have a starting corner in Tavon Campbell, who's a Canadian. Most teams don't have a starting corner who's Canadian. They have starting linebacker in A.J. Allen. Some teams don't have a starting Canadian linebacker. Then you've got the receivers, Schaefer Baker, Joe, Samuel Emelis, who was the star last night. So when you have Canadians at the skill or speed positions like Saskatchewan does, it allows you to build an offensive line primarily out of Americans. And they've taken advantage of that. And, it is a team where, building Canadian offensive line the last several seasons, they just got them mangled. And it's, again, very hard when your Canadian offensive linemen get hurt in season to backfill for them adequately. It's a lot easier when you use Americans.
Dave Nadeau joins us. Dave, now we are officially into the offseason in the CFL. And what do you think happens for the green and gold at the quarterback?
We didn't talk a lot about this because it maybe it just seemed a little too obvious. We're kind of looking for stuff that people don't recognize, and maybe we should have talked about this a little more, to be honest. But I think Cody Fajardo's going back as a starter, as long as the number is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Edmonton wants to say, well, Cody had a pretty good year. You're going to be our starter, and here's $550,000. I don't think that's the number that brings Cody Fajardo back. I would expect it's kind of in that tier below that. Maybe in the kind of $350 with playtime on top of it. And by playtime, I mean it's incentives that he can achieve through playtime. I don't know that Cody is the long-term answer for Edmonton, but he was the stabilizing force this year. And, Farhan reported on the pregame show last night that he thinks there's a good chance that the Elks will release Trey Ford.
Yes.
And that, that commitment, that is over. It likely is over. And I think Cody Fajardo will be their guy. And, then the challenge will be to develop somebody behind him, in the time that he's got left that he wants to play football. I don't know that he's a guy who wants to play till he's 40, maybe more of a mid-30s guy. That was part of kind of what was said in Montreal when they parted ways with him, was that they didn't know how many more years of Cody they were going to have, and they wanted to pivot to Davis Alexander before they lost him.
Yeah. Well, I probably should have worded that better. I agree with you. Fajardo's coming back. I've been saying ever since Trey Ford didn't play a snap in the final game of the season, then I think his time at Edmonton was done. No one told me that at the time, but I can read between the lines. It's pretty obvious. If you thought he was part of the future, you would have played him in a nothing game, and they didn't. So releasing him. So I'll two-part. A, who would be interested to sign Ford? And then B, do you see any quarterback, around the league who, Edmonton could bring in, who has some at least CFL experience, but maybe not a ton of playing time, to be a number 2?
Well, the most obvious one, and the guy may not be that far away from being able to be a starter, which might, fit Edmonton's plans just fine, is Taylor Powell, who's a free agent in Hamilton.
Okay.
So that, there's a guy who has starting experience. Like Bo stood at his locker 2 years ago and said, I'm done here. Right? And now, in back-to-back years, he's been the Eastern nominee for most outstanding player. He's been healthy for back-to-back seasons for the first time in his career in a long time. And, I think he entered this season with a real possibility that this was it for him. But again, kind of similar to Trevor Harris in Saskatchewan, I think, just because they both performed so well, seemed to enjoy what they were doing, and got through the season healthy. I haven't seen Bo quoted, but I won't be surprised if he decides to play another year or two. And if that's the case, then Hamilton's got to figure out what to do about Taylor Powell. So there's one. Here's the tricky thing with Trey Ford. He's almost kind of like a guy that you want him as your starter, or maybe you don't want him at all. And here's why I'm going to that, is that the value that teams want in a backup quarterback is usually sort of experience, which Trey has, and kind of a high floor. They can live with a lower ceiling if they get a guy with a high floor. And that means you're going to run the offense. You may not make exceptional plays, but you're not going to turn the ball over, and you're going to, the ball, you're going to execute the offense efficiently, if not spectacularly. And I think Trey Ford is kind of the opposite of that. He's a guy with a high ceiling and a low floor. And you saw the variance and the extremes in his play during the games that he started for Edmonton. He might have made, 5 of the most spectacular plays in the CFL season in those starts that he had. But overall, the consistency wasn't there. So he doesn't really fit the mold of a backup. So, it's a really fascinating one to try to figure out, where he goes. Look, he's got too much talent, not to have a role in the Canadian Football League. I assume someone will sign him. I think there's still always the possibility, because he's such a spectacular athlete, that somebody might try to move him to another position. I can see that's conceivable. I mean, that's happened to guys, right? I mean, you had guys like Brad Sinopoli, who came into the league and played quarterback for 3 years in Calgary, and then ended up as the most outstanding Canadian as a receiver. Now, he didn't play a lot of quarterback in Calgary, and my memory may be wrong, but it wasn't 3 years.
Yeah.
But the point is, drafted as a quarterback, he practiced as a quarterback, he went to training camp as a quarterback. That was his gig, and he ended up being a really good receiver in the league. So it's not unprecedented. That Trey Ford's future, I think, is one of the more fascinating topics of this offseason.
Well, I always wonder, it's like, do you want to play, or do you only want to play quarterback, right? Like, at some point, that's going to be the process. I think this will be, an offseason of Trey Ford where, you got to reflect and say, okay, what do I want to do? If I want to be a quarterback, then I got to show up and I got to work hard. I got to be the first guy into film room. I got to be the first guy, last guy to leave, kind of thing. That usually what your quarterbacks are, and kind of go from there. Because like, his ability, you're right. When you see the peaks, he's shown he can be pretty good. He doesn't throw a ton of interceptions. His completion percentage is really good, right? Obviously, he can scramble with the best of them. It's just he's got to get better at seeing his second, third, and fourth reads. Now, he's not the first young quarterback, Dave, who didn't have instant success in the league, and that's why in a league that's always looking for quarterbacks. And when I look in the NFL and I see all these guys who maybe got too much playing time early and they didn't have any success, and teams gave up on them, and now they're on their second and third team and they look really good. I always wonder if patience might be a virtue here, as long as Trey Ford's willing to put in the work.
I think that's certainly, a worthy consideration. Like, if Trey Ford's willing to do the things to be a starting quarterback, I would say there's enough potential in him as a thrower and as a runner and just an overall football player that you want to try and tap that and try to see if that potential is there. Here's the question, okay? Or another question for me. Trey Ford came out of U Sports football.
Yeah.
And the path from starting in U Sports football to being a franchise quarterback in the CFL, not, getting starts or getting opportunities or being a backup, like doing what Edmonton did this year and said, here's the keys. You're our franchise quarterback to start the year. And the goal is, we're going to give you the keys to start the year, but the goal is that you will evolve this season into definitely our franchise quarterback. When's the last time a CFL team did that with a U Sport quarterback? I think it's Russ Jackson.
Yeah,
it really is. So, I think when we're trying to project what Trey Ford is and how long the development is going to take, I think we have to factor in that he was developed at a level of football that has virtually no history of producing CFL franchise quarterbacks. Now, there's always exceptions, and I think teams are willing to take the chance that Trey was the exception, but he's battling history, right? Because Russ Jackson is 89 years old. So when something hasn't happened since the guy, who is now 89, I think you have to kind of take that as part of the backdrop here.
Yeah, no, it will be interesting to see kind of what he does there. Any other names you'll be watching interesting when it comes to free agency?
Well, free agency are just, a couple of situations that we just kind of brought up on the broadcast the other day. And it's not, there's so many free agents at this stage of the calendar, guys. It's hard to really do a free agent projection because, if a team has 25 pending free agents, by the time we get to Christmas, they might have 15. And by the time we get to opening free agency, they might have 7. You know what I mean? It's just,
right.
There's so much business that gets done at the end of the year and between the end of the year and start of free agency that trying to really project rosters around free agency at this stage is difficult. And some teams have a deal in a drawer with a guy and they're just waiting to announce it till after the season. So we kind of let free agency mature a little bit before we make those projections. But I'll tell you just a couple situations I think are interesting. Ottawa quarterback and Toronto quarterback. Because in Ottawa, Drew Brown's last game there, he threw 3 interceptions. And it was going to be really hard to sort of sell hope off of him going into next year, it looked like. Now, Dinwiddie can help that because Dinwiddie has a history of, finding the high side in quarterbacks. And I think there's a belief that he might be able to do that with Drew Brown. I think he thinks he can do that with Drew Brown. But Drew Brown also, I don't think there's been any secret that Drew Brown really felt like he fit in Winnipeg and enjoyed his time in Winnipeg. And that the Bombers have a great fondness for him. Could Drew Brown end up back in Winnipeg as the backup to Zach, and then they finally have the next quarterback on the roster, which they do not have right now, which when you're going into the season with a 38-year-old, that's a situation I just think is worth watching. Just as I think the connection between Chad Kelly and Ryan Dinwiddie is worth watching. I have no suggestion the Toronto Argonauts are going to move on from Chad Kelly or want to trade him or any of that. But I think when you know that Ottawa maybe isn't, completely settled at what's going on in quarterback, and you've got a guy who Ryan Dinwiddie got tremendous success out of. I'm not predicting. I'm in very speculative territory here. I'm just saying those are a couple of situations that I will be sort of putting my ear to the ground on in the off season.
Dave, enjoy some downtime for at least a week or two, and we'll talk to you again soon, man. We really appreciate it. Great work.
Hey, man, I'm on a flight Wednesday to Houston for Bills Texans, so no downtime.
All right. Well, there you go. Enjoy that.
Take care.
It's Dave Naylor from CFL on TSN, and that big win for the Riders. Should be an interesting offseason. Fajardo, that was a no-brainer. Trey Ford leaving Edmonton, that's kind of a no-brainer. But I think you got to get a succession plan or a number 2 that you feel comfortable in. That would be the big plan. What are they going to do on the offensive line? What are they going to do on their defensive line? I think those are the big questions. They're green and gold. They're going to get another receiver. We'll find out. Let's take a quick break. Let's get to the Con Man of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in. It's coming. You see it. The lakes are getting frozen. Things are slippery. Get your winter tires. You get 15% off any tire right now. FountainTire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Oilers in Buffalo taking on the Sabres. Puck drop set for just after 5. Our pregame coverage with Jason Gregor, Andrew Walker, Leonard Ferraro gets going at 4 right here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, Canes are in Boston. You got the Panthers and the Canucks. Kings in Washington. Blue Jackets hosting the Canadians, and the Mammoth up against the Ducks. A day after handing out the Grey Cup, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers signing head coach Mike O'Shea and GM Kyle Walters to 3-year extensions that will keep them in Winnipeg through the 2028 season. In the NFL tonight, Week 11 wraps up. Raiders Cowboys from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. The Hell gets going at 6:15. The NFL has suspended Bengals wideout Jamar Chase for 1 week after he spit at Jalen Ramsey in yesterday's 34-12 loss to the Steelers. The Bengals will take on the Patriots this weekend without their star wideout. In the association, the Raptors in action. They'll host the Hornets just after 5:30. You've also got the Bucks, Cavs, Pistons, and Pacers. The Clippers in Philly, and the Heat hosting the Knicks. And Virginia Tech and James Franklin finalizing an agreement for him to become the next head coach with the organization. Franklin has won 128 games over 15 seasons as a head coach at Vanderbilt and Penn State. He led the Nittany Lions to the CFP semifinals last year. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear the Oil Report. We'll talk some Sabres with beat reporter Mike Harrington and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
More fruit?
Check.
Satisfying texture?
Check.
3 amazing new recipes?
Check, check, check.
Let Booster Juice bowl you over with something completely different. 3 new acai bowls, loaded with delicious toppings including bee pollen, cacao nibs, and shredded coconut. Piled high on top of a refreshing blend of authentic acai, straight from Brazil. Spoon?
Check.
Booster Juice, Canada's original juice and acai bowl bar.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the only place to call for heating your home. So when it's time to replace your old furnace, call Legacy. Or for 24-hour repair with no overtime rates. Legacy even heats your shower with hot water tank. Call Legacy. And with no interest and no payments for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
And here comes Action Electrical service team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly, some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Start your day with a blast of sports. Kevin Carius, along with Brandon Douglas, brings the fire, the fun, and the fearless takes. Weekdays, 7 to 11. Text Kevin, 883-401-1440. Mornings with Sports 1440. Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. It is game day. Oilers in Buffalo to take on the Sabres. No lineup changes for Edmonton. It will be Skinner, versus Ellis. Rasmus Dahlin returned to the Sabres lineup after taking some time away to be with his fiance as she was going through a heart transplant recovery. Like, that's a huge deal, man. Huge deal. And he came back, played 27 minutes on Saturday as the Sabres were down 4-1 late in the second. They made it 4-2. Josh Doan scored, and then they scored twice, including Ryan McLeod's shorthanded goal in the third. They went in overtime, so they'll probably be feeling a little good about themselves. That ended a 5-game losing streak for the Sabres. And the Oilers, though, will try. They've only won once of the last 5 visits to Buffalo, and only 2 of their last 8. Haven't had a ton of success in the McDavid era in Buffalo, funny enough. And we'll see if they can get a win tonight against the Sabres. It's time now for the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto. You need a vehicle? They got you covered. They have over 15,000 vehicles to choose from. If you're thinking of a new one, I would highly recommend the Jeep Cherokee. Oof, it is good, man. Very good. I love it all. Check it out, goauto.ca. And we're going to hear from Chris Knobloch and Matthias Ekholm. First off, just on the Oilers, the first quarter's done, and you know what? There's some signs here that maybe they're coming out of it. But for Knobloch, what does he feel like they can do to become a little bit more consistent?
Oh, a lot of it has to do with playing 60 minutes. I think we've had stretches, not long period stretches, but whether it's a period or bits of one where we've looked sharp and played well, but I don't know if there's been many games where we've, after it finished, where we said, we really like the full effort from everybody and the whole team. So I think it's a lot of it just being a little more engaged, a little more intensity, energy, to find that push for longer stretches.
Yeah, I think that when he talks about engagement, I think that's what we're all, you and I were talking about earlier, and just, that willingness to kind of get in there and be physical. And, when you look, I'm just looking at the lineup now, and you look at the number of guys that, are in the lineup and who's actually playing to their identity. I really like Savoy's game. I like that top line. Obviously, Hyman, the way he came in, plays the way Zach Hyman plays. Podkolzin's playing exceptional and picking up where he left off last year. Roslovic. But then, like I said, you go down the bottom 2 lines, and it's a bunch of guys that are still trying to figure out their identity and what they bring to the team. So hopefully, it's a long season, and wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall to hear some of the conversations that are being had about, guys trying to get to their game and what's being said, because, it wasn't that long ago that I was in a dressing room playing. And I remember that during the season, having, different conversations with your coach about, where you're at and what you need to do. And sometimes, coach has to say some things, and as a player, you have to hear some things that you don't necessarily want to hear, that are uncomfortable, but to get you out of your comfort zone.
Well, I look at I don't even know if it's asking them to get out of their comfort zone. Like, check harder, like win a battle. I don't think that should be that difficult here for some of their players, because we've seen them do it before. It's just a matter of hey, try to eliminate the 10 bell mistakes. Like, my God, that shouldn't be out of their comfort zone, right? Like I look at Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse specifically. They play the most minutes. Jake Wallman, Brett Kulak's numbers in November have been unbelievably bad, right? He's been outscored 11-0, 5-on-5. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's usually out there against the other team's best players all the time. And I know the goals for it's not always the guy. You're not always at fault. But when it's 11-0, there's an area there where you're like, hey, I got to play better.
Yeah. Well, a comfort zone. I mean, maybe identity. That's what I look to see, right? Is like, why are guys like, we're all drafted for a certain reason, and there's got to be expectations, and everyone has to fulfill a role, right? And so that's what I mean by, certain guys are just, what are you bringing to the lineup? And they have too many guys right now that are just, playing for the sake of playing and have no real identity. No, they're not bringing anything to the fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's fair.
And, the concerning thing to me is that, when you watch McDavid, get hit and there's no response, and he's the best player on your team. And, you hear about teams being tight, and they talk about, the Oilers as being a tight team. Well, you know what? There's a lot of situations in a game that, will really bring out how much you actually care and how tight you actually are. And I think they're just, they're too comfortable. There's too many guys that are just too comfortable in the role and what they're giving. And there has to be another level of finding some identity to their game.
Yeah, well, 100%. Now, let's hear more from Knobloch on their defensive struggles and, lineup changes, line changes. How much of it is due to that, or is it just more of a commitment as a group?
I would like to say that's what it is. Obviously, we've got a lot of new players, especially up front, and there's a lot of getting used to each other and also used to the system. But, even the guys that have been here for a while and are on the ice together, we've had mistakes more than we should. So, I think it's just being engaged and paying attention and being ready to execute. And right now, I think, we're giving up more chances than I would like. We defended very well last year, one of the best defensive teams. And right now, we're just okay at it. And if we want to be a really good team, we got to be better defensively.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, when you're talking about defending, when the Oilers are defending well, they're really, they have such a, their back end, they all skate very well, right? They're decent sized guys, they got good sticks, but when they're defending well, they're really taking away time and space, right? But to do that, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a real commitment and a consistency, and it's an uncomfortableness. And when they play that way, they obviously look really good, and they at times, do a good job of taking away time and space, using their stick, using their body. But just like, anyone, if you give good players time and space, they make good plays. You take it away, they look average. So, that's not always an easy way to play. It's hard to play that way consistently day after day. But when they do that, they do it well. And, I was watching Wallman. I think that, there's a little bit, in Wallman's game too, that I think there's, he's a puck moving. He's a, I don't say cheaper version, but he's a version of Bouchard, right? Like he can move the puck, he can make plays out of nothing, but even his puck management, I've noticed, is kind of slipped off for me, right? Where, he's throwing pucks away in situations that normally he doesn't, right? And sometimes, some of that results in, making it easier on the other team. So just his puck management as a whole. But then, there's other guys that, you get little cracks in everyone's game at different times throughout a game. And this is kind of what you get. And that's where they're at.
Well, and what's crazy about it is they'll go long stretches in the game where they play great. And then it's just like, lately I found, like even in the Carolina game, they're up 2-0. Then there's a long stretch where Carolina's controlling the play, and Edmonton hasn't found a way to get momentum back on their side, right? Like the other team's going to have some good shifts, right? Like, you know what? It's not like you're going to control all 60 minutes. That's why I've never, have a complete 60. No, you can't. But you can avoid the lengthy pitfalls where it's like, we're 30 minutes into the game and the Oilers have 6 shots again, right? Like that to me has been kind of the major issue along the way, is that they'll go long stretches where, and we've seen long stretches where they play really well too, but there's been more stretches where the other team's controlling play, and Edmonton might even have the puck, but it's perimeter after perimeter after perimeter. So that's what I would like to see in this next quarter of the season, is if they can find a little bit more consistency. And when the other team has momentum, you can get it back. And that's really a lot of times what your third and fourth lines are there for, is to be shift changers. They're not going to score a ton, but you can gain momentum when you have a positive shift in the offensive zone. Now your next guys come out and they're like, all right, we got the puck to start in the offensive zone.
And a perfect example of that was the Philly game, right? Where Rick Tocchet was able to throw out his third, fourth line, right? Where they, Edmonton, had some momentum, and it was looked pretty dead in the arena, and he was able to throw out their third, fourth line. And I think you could even see in between commercial breaks where guys are chirping and yapping. And I just think Knobloch just doesn't have that ability right now. He's looking for that line. I just think when he looks down and he sees a line that he's like, man, who can I put out there to kind of change the momentum, get some momentum back, an energy line. He's looking, and he's just piecing lines together, waiting for someone to kind of step up and grab hold of that opportunity.
We will take a quick break. We'll come back more on the orders. And also, Mike Harrington is going to join us. The Buffalo Sabres, and 14 years out of the playoffs. And they find themselves on November 17th in the basement of the Eastern Conference again. When's the roller coaster of doom going to start going up? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take one for Gene Principe. Are you ready, Gene?
Ready? I'm not just here to make a thermo a couple of bucks. I'd never just microphone it in.
Take one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for furnace season.
What's not to love? With no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year.
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike a furnace, I have no filter.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, 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 nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Michelle and Colette are sisters. Sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's number one.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Harris Schwiener. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree.
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
It might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhawk beef jerky. Only available in the Duke. Get yours today because you don't win friends with salad.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, which showcase style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018. Visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.325. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, Connor Halley with you. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Be sure to use promo code Gregor50. Make a $50 deposit, and they will match it. And also, tomorrow night, get your tickets. Lotto Max, $40 million up for grabs at playalberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers are in Buffalo, where despite the Sabres struggling, the Oilers struggle to win in Buffalo. It's kind of an odd one, but they've only won one of their last 5. It's only 2 in the last 8 years when McDavid's there. So it's an odd stat as we go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And remember, the Fan Day deals, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. $4.49 for a Big Mac, the filet of fish, or the McChicken. But only through the McDonald's app, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. As Mike Harrington, longtime beat reporter for the Sabres, joins us. And Mike, I always like having you on because I know we're going to get the straight truth from you. The Sabres, hey, it's 14 years. They're out of the playoffs. They're obviously in the basement right now of the Eastern Conference. And, you're wondering, kind of look like, what's changed? What has to happen, do you feel, for this organization to get out of this rut?
Well, you know what? It's really an unusual kind of season. You look at them on paper, you look at them on the ice, they should be better than their record. I'll give you a couple examples. They're 5-1-2 in their last 8 games at home. That's not a team that's in last place, but Saturday night in Detroit, they won their first road game of the season. So you can't be in the playoffs if you're terrible on the road. They got a lot of injuries this year. That's been a big factor. A lot of their top 6 guys are out. But, they traded for Josh Norris, and they knew his injury history, and he didn't get through the first game. So they have to stop, shooting themselves in the foot here. It's just one of these weird seasons so far, and they're hoping the Detroit game, a big comeback down 4-1, they get a win in overtime. Tonight starts 4 in a row at home. So maybe they can get a little momentum here and start crawling back.
So Nate Thompson is one of the nice pieces that you guys have there. Seems to be having a good season. What are his chances of, do you think, making the Olympic team?
Well, Tage is one of those guys who probably should have been on the Four Nations team. That was a mistake in my mind on Team USA's part. And I give him credit. He went to the World Championships. He had a great tournament. He played a lot of different roles and, of course, scored the golden goal in the gold medal game. So I think he's really probably on the right side of that bubble for Team USA. They got to get a little more out of him here. He's only got 8 goals in 18 games, but he had a big game in Detroit, scored a goal, created Samuelson's overtime goal. He's a big body, kind of a unicorn kind of player. I think in the final analysis, he's going to make that team. And I do think the World Championships and his performance there is a bit of a tipping point, because I think there was a negative connotation. Oh, he's from Buffalo. He doesn't know how to win. He's never played in any big games. Well, scoring the golden goal in the World Championships, I think, has a good amount of weight, and I think he's going to be on the right side of that come selection time.
When you look at this Sabre team, and I look at Kevin Adams in his tenure, Mike, when he took over, this is year 6. Nothing's really changed. Their third year, you're like, oh, okay, they're coming up. I think they had 90 points. They just missed the playoffs. And you're thinking, okay, now they're close. Right. And then it's just been downhill again ever since then. They've had some guys who wanted to leave the organization. That happens. But is he the guy to drive? What makes him the right guy?
He's not.
Okay.
But he's the favor of the owner, Terry Pegula, and no other team in the league would have brought back the GM for a 6th year except this one, because he was still under contract and the owner doesn't want to pay people not to work. That said, and that's an overriding thing, Kevin Adams might have had his best offseason this past summer. He traded Peterka to Utah, and he's doing fine in Utah. They got Josh Doan. They got Kessling. Kessling, unfortunately, is hurt again, but a big right shot defenseman. Doan has been terrific up front. Connor Timmins on defense has been a huge upgrade over Connor Clifton. Alex Lyon in goal really got off to a hot start. So he made 4 pretty significant moves in the offseason. They were doing fine. They were 4-4, but you just can't have one of those streaks where you win 1-9. And that's what they fell into. They had 4 straight overtime games that they lost, and it kind of set them on a bad path. But, right now we're going to have to see which way they go. Had they lost to Detroit, guys, they would have been 0-4 in their road trip. And I really think things might have had to have been percolating in the Adams front. But, the owner loves him. There's no president of hockey operations here. At least they brought in a senior advisor in Jarmo Kekalainen, former Columbus GM. But, Adams survives. through the grace of Terry Pegula.
Well, you mentioned Jarmo Kekalainen, and funny, like if you look at Jarmo Kekalainen's drafting history in Columbus, God, it was really good, and he's got experience. And I wonder, is it just a matter of time before he's the guy calling the shots?
Well, they're really sensitive to that indication. Right from the day he was hired, they're sensitive to it. Jarmo Kekalainen is sensitive to it. Understandably, he doesn't want to be seen as the guy looking over Kevin Adams' shoulder. He wants to help Kevin Adams. They have a pretty good relationship from his time in Columbus. Adams is drafted pretty well. I mean, obviously anybody could draft, number one overalls, but there's been some good picks here, and there's been some good trades. Like I said, this summer, I think Matt Savoy for Ryan McLeod was a good trade here, and it might turn into a good trade for the Oilers if Savoy continues to build his career. Pro scouting and pro player acquisition has been a problem with Kevin Adams and kind of sitting on his hands. I mean, he went through a 13-game winless streak last year, didn't do anything. 1 of 9 this year, not good, but it's hard. I'll give him that. It's hard to make a trade in November. Who's trading in November? Other teams aren't giving you something in November. They're not going to save you from your pickle, and they don't know what they need. They don't want to play themselves out of the spot in November with a bad trade. So the Sabres have one of these early slumps every year, and it's tough to crawl out of it. I expect Kekalainen at some point here to be the GM, unless the Sabres make some incredible run here and break this playoff drought. But, we'll see what happens. It's early, but it's not early.
No.
Right? Game 19.
Yeah.
It's not early anymore. It's not early anymore when you're 15th or 16th in the East and you're trying to crawl out of that hole. It's early if you're in the mass of teams in the mushy middle. The Sabres aren't in the mushy middle right now.
Yeah, no, they're not. I wholeheartedly agree with you. We're talking Sabres with a longtime reporter for the Sabres, Mike Harrington. Mike, Rasmus Dahlin, the one thing the organization I think has done very well is how they've handled Rasmus Dahlin and the whole situation with his fiance and her heart troubles and everything like that. And that probably bodes well for him wanting to stay to an organization that helped him that much. He came back in that Detroit game, played 27 minutes. Including, had 2 assists. They've got some good pieces. It just never seems to come together. And he seems like he's one of the best ones.
Yeah, he is. He's had a tough year this year so far. He's got 1 goal. He's -10, but I think everyone can understand that his mind may not totally be here. His fiance was stricken while they were on vacation in France over the summer, and was in life support for a few weeks and needed a heart transplant. So she's still in heart rehab over in Sweden. He left the team for a week, got to some important appointments with her. She's apparently doing much better. He came back, rejoined the team Saturday in Detroit. He's a terrific defenseman. All things being equal, I felt he was going to be a top 5 Norris guy this year. That's not going to happen, obviously, but I think let's not forget, athletes are people too, and sometimes life intercedes.
Yeah.
But you're right. The biggest problem here is they have talent. It's a game of whack-a-mole here, guys. Every year something different falls apart. Last year it was goaltending. This year the goaltending's been fine. This year it's been injuries. 2 years ago they couldn't win at home. They won 25 games on the road. 3 years ago they won 25 games on the road, the most for a non-playoff team in 10 years. This year they can't win on the road, and they've been pretty good at home. It's been a game of whack-a-mole here the last 5 years or so. Every year it's something different. It makes it really difficult to pinpoint. If they fix this, they'll get there, because every year it's something different they need to fix.
Jason was talking about the struggles of the Edmonton Oilers when they played the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm assuming a lot of that comes from the back end and Dahlin and Powers and the skill they have there. What type of game are you expecting to see tonight?
It's interesting because Leon Draisaitl's not a point-a-game guy against the Buffalo Sabres. The last 5 meetings in Buffalo have all ended in 3-2 scores, and the Sabres have won 4 of them, which really defies logic given where the teams have been the last 5 years. You don't see much from Leon here. Connor's not had a big outburst of a game here. They've been able to control him. They can't stop Nathan McKinnon or Sebastian Aho to save their lives. For whatever reason, they've been okay against Edmonton. They've been able to take the air out of the game. There haven't been any shootouts. You think about it, 5 straight 3-2 games. That plays into Buffalo's hands. The Oilers don't want to come here and play a 3-2 game. I mean, the Oilers want to, run some goals up on this team, and they've never really been able to do that here the last few years. So I think the Sabres want to play the same kind of game here. They want to keep their positive momentum from the end of the game in Detroit. And they want to build on what they have at home. This is a big game for them in terms of the first game, the 4-game homestand. They only lost 1 of the last 8 at home. So there's a lot of positivity around here, which we haven't heard lately. But, the Oilers, it's the middle of a road trip. Sabres are on the first game back. Sometimes that's difficult. So I don't know what to expect tonight. I guess I probably should say to you, I expect a 3-2 game, since that's what we've had here 5 years in a row.
Yeah. Well, it would seem like that. How has Ryan McLeod's numbers last year looked very good? How has he fit in Buffalo? Is he their clear number 2 center?
Yeah, he's been really good. He's been very flexible in his roles. Got off to a slow start this year offensively. A lot of them did. They won a lot of goals early in the season. Huge goal Saturday night. Huge steal of Mort Seider on the blue line. While Detroit was on a power play, essentially going for a clinching goal. Goes down, scores on the breakaway, gets the Sabres even. They win in overtime. Got a 4-year deal in the offseason. Even though, and I've talked to him about it, goes to the Stanley Cup final to Game 7, comes here, misses the playoffs, watches the Oilers go back to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final. But, he understood that was the situation when he got traded, but he really likes the locker room. He likes playing here. He gets a lot of family to see him play. Likes his role. He's allowed to be in a more offensive role here. So it's been a good deal. And everyone here said, well, that's a big guy they gave up trading Matt Savoy to Edmonton. And that's fine. It's not about hosing the other team to me.
No.
Both teams can be happy with a trade. The Buffalo-Utah trade, both teams are happy with Peterka, Doan, Kesslering. I think this McLeod-Savoy trade, both teams are going to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, I look at that, Doan and Kesslering. Doan's come in and he has really picked up, his play this season with the Sabres. And, is kind of, they're very happy with him. Heck, he's almost replaced Peterka's offense, never mind Kesslering on the back end. So they like that. So here's my question, Mike. When we see Tage Thompson, we go through a lot of these guys and there's lots of positives, yet at the end of the day, they don't win. Well, is it just key mistakes at the most inopportune time? What is it that ultimately is costing this team having the ability not to win games on a regular basis?
Yeah, there's key mistakes. They continue to struggle on the power play. The penalty kill has been terrific all year. They continue to struggle on the power play. Right now, you go into tonight's game, they're first in the league on the penalty kill. They're 24th on the power play. If you had an average power play, it'd be better. 4 overtime losses, they're not that far off. If you went 3-1 in those overtime games, said 0-4 and had 19 points instead of 16, how would you look at the Buffalo Sabres right now? A little bit differently. You'd be in the mushy middle, which is where people thought they'd be, fighting for a playoff spot. Like I said, they put their finger in the dikes, trying to plug the holes here. And this year, the big one is injuries has really been the overriding factor. The goaltending hasn't been the problem as last year, but take your top couple centers, your top left winger, one of your top 4D, your starting goalie. Take them off of any team at the start of the year and see how the team does. Not just the Buffalo Sabres. Take them off the Oilers. Take them off the Leafs. Take them off Montreal. Whoever you want to do it, that team is going to struggle. And the problem here is there's no way fans are going to give them that mulligan after 14 years of missing the playoffs, and I understand that, but you just can't ignore it. It's just the reality of the situation.
Well, we'll see what happens. You're right about, it is odd for Edmonton to struggle as much as they have in Buffalo. Not just losing, but just not even scoring many goals very often. They only scored 3 goals once in their last 5 visits. So we'll see if tonight is different for them or if Buffalo can continue to play well on home ice. Really appreciate your time.
All right, gentlemen, take care. Thanks very much.
There you go. That's Mike Harrington, beat report. And I agree with them wholeheartedly. I'm sorry, but Kevin Adams isn't the answer. Okay, hasn't been the answer. They've made no progress in 5 years. What the hell else do you need? Right? Put Jarmo Kekalainen in charge. And I don't think you can keep Kevin Adams and demote him. I don't think that's going to work. But bring in Jarmo Kekalainen, and I don't the owner. It's funny how he has the blueprint. The other team he owns, he made the right coaching hire in McDermott, and look at how it changed the Buffalo Bills. It's a fact. You can't deny it. Now, obviously, yeah, you got Josh Allen, you got some good players, no question, but he changed everything. You need leadership at the top. Now, the head coach in the NFL is quasi-GM at times. And I look at the Sabres, and until they get rid of Kevin Adams, who had no experience, and he still has some experience, but he doesn't have enough. And to me, I think that's the move I'd make, because otherwise you're just going to go around and around. It's just like he's on the hamster wheel, Brownie, and he's just spinning around. It's great exercise, but you're not gaining anything.
Well, and you run the risk of some of their talented players getting burnt out. And if they start, making some noise where, do they not have to also sign Alex Tuck too? Right. I mean, these guys, when they're competitive guys and they want to win and they want to be in a culture where they know they're going to win. Yeah. So, I mean, once that losing starts getting in your dressing room and guys start, getting upset and bothered, that's a concern. So yeah, they're definitely an organization that has great pieces, is just struggling to get over the hump. I don't know. Is it, is the coaching is rough to the point where, maybe there's a change that needs to happen there too, but so there's got to be a shakeup.
Yeah, for sure. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
More fruit?
Check.
Satisfying texture?
Check.
3 amazing new recipes?
Check.
Let Booster Juice bowl you over with something completely different. 3 new acai bowls, loaded with delicious toppings including bee pollen, cacao nibs, and shredded coconut. Piled high on top of a refreshing blend of authentic acai, straight from Brazil. Spoon?
Check.
Booster Juice, Canada's original juice and acai bowl bar.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off. And with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the only place to call for heating your home. So when it's time to replace your old furnace, call Legacy, call Legacy. Or for 24-hour repair with no overtime rates. Legacy even heats your shower with hot water tank. Call Legacy, call Legacy. And with no interest and no payments for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on a lovely Monday afternoon. It is a game day. Oilers Mondays haven't been great. Oilers were 2-7 on Mondays last year, but they did beat Columbus last Monday. So you never know. Maybe Mondays it won't be that bad for the Oilers. They could win 2 Mondays in a row for the first time in a while. Just to put it mildly. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more is what they do, because right now at The Brick they have early access Black Friday prices. You can get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair, and get an additional 25% off bedroom and dining furniture at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Game day. Oilers in Buffalo set to take on the Sabres. What happens in the game? And do you have a bold prediction?
I'll go on a bold prediction. What is the Savoy? What has he got? A couple game point streak right now, I think. Playing his former team here. He'll keep that going, playing on the top line. Oilers will. Let's go. Should we go 3-2? I'll go 4-2.
3-2, 4-2. What would be a bold prediction? I will say I'll stick with my predictions that I do at Oilers Nation and wrote today. Connor McDavid will pick up his 340th multi-point game of his career, which means after tonight, he'll have had 2 points or more in 46% of his games. Only guys higher, Gretzky and Lemieux. So that'll be a multi-point game for McDavid in Buffalo, where it doesn't happen very often. And the Oilers, I'll say 4. Well, I had 4-2, so I got to go with the same score. So I'll say 4-2.
Lock it in. All right. We saw a familiar sight over the weekend. The Oilers' top OT unit wrapping up a game in their first shift, 19 seconds in. If you had to rank the top 3 3-on-3 lineups in the NHL, who are your picks?
Go ahead, Gregor.
Ooh, well, yeah, it's hard to go against McDavid and Draisaitl.
Makar,
McKinnon, and Natchez is pretty good because it's really fast. And the one that's actually, it's been effective this year and last year is got to go with Suzuki and Caulfield in Montreal. Like Suzuki had 5 overtime goals last year. Caulfield's already got 3 this year. So, if you want to put Hudson out there, sure, I would go with that because those are the one I'm looking for, ones who are most effective and score. So I'll go with those 3.
I'm gonna go with. I'll go with McKinnon, Makar. Who was the other guy that you said that?
Oh, Marty Natchez. Yeah.
I'm going to go with them. When they were here, just the speed, the power. Yeah, I'll go with those guys.
Question number 3 for you. The debates popped up online the last few days. Do you guys think Don Cherry should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
I think so. Growing up, Don Cherry to me was a lot of the reasons why you stayed tuned in between periods was to listen to Coach's Corner and, Rock'em Sock'em, the videos, and watch it. Just everything that guy's done for the game. I really enjoyed listening to him and hearing his insights. And I know it was a big thrill for me when I actually played in the NHL to have an opportunity to meet him and see him at games and stuff like that. So, yeah, that guy's done a lot for the game, and I think he belongs there.
Well, I'm trying to think of a precedent of a guy like him, because he coached. His coaching record wouldn't be enough to get him in the Hall of Fame. Let's be honest there, right?
As a builder for what maybe he's done.
No, but I'm saying, so when I'm looking at all the other builders in the Hall of Fame, there's not a guy who's in the builder category who is a broadcaster. They're in the broadcaster category. So if you want to put him in the broadcaster category, then that makes a lot of sense, right? Was Don bigger than any other broadcaster? He was more bombastic for sure, and he's very proud Canadian. And I loved Don Cherry growing up. Don't get me wrong. Do I think when I look at the builder category, the builders are usually general managers, right? Coaches, and his coaching career isn't good enough to get him in that category. It's just not, right? Like, look at his coaching career. Like, it's not good enough. Like, that's not a Hall of Fame career. So then you would look and say, okay, well, what are we going to have him in here for? It'd be more as a broadcaster. Well, they have a broadcaster's wing, so put him in the broadcaster's wing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 4. PlayAlberta.ca has the Cowboys as 3.5-point favorites over the Raiders. What's your pick tonight? And is there any other prop bet you might take a look at?
Oh, God. Cowboys easy. I think the Cowboys are going to spank them. The Raiders are terrible. And I think the Cowboys are very emotionally charged up after losing one of their teammates to committed suicide. So I would take the Cowboys tonight, and I will take a CeeDee Lamb TD reception.
I'll take the Cowboys with a Prescott 2 touchdowns. Throws for 2.
Over 1.5.
Oh, all right.
I like it. You both.
What about you, Cons?
Yeah. I mean, I already got a bet in the YouTube chat with our good friend Lance. A little coffee bet for the. He's got the Raiders, of course. Proud Raiders fan. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. And anytime bet. I would find a Max Crosby sack total and bet the over. I hate the Raiders, but that guy's an absolute beast. So find him. He's going to have an impact in this one, I would think, on a Monday night game. Final question for you guys today. As you know, it's November 17th, and I can't escape Christmas music. I love Christmas music, but I'm going to be sick of it in like 3 weeks. So I want to ask, when do you guys think it's cool to start playing the holiday music?
For me, I start right after Remembrance Day. I like it early. I'm like you too. I definitely, as soon as Christmas is over, I'm sick of Christmas. I'm sick of everything. I'm sick of the music. I want to get all the decorations down. But, it is a good feeling though. When you turn it on for the first time, I love it.
But like December 1st, maybe.
The earlier, the better for me. I like it. I listen to it. Actually, I got programmed in my car already. And like I said yesterday, we got the decorations all up. The house is ready to go. And I did my part. So after Remembrance Day for me.
Yeah, 100% after Remembrance Day. Now I'll be honest, when I was a single guy, I don't think I had a tree up, but usually I'd put it up on like the 15th of December. When I got married, my wife was like, hey, this is the one thing I really like. And so she had a big tree. And so, the first few years, her and her girlfriend, they would always decorate most of it. Like, I'd be there, but I didn't have to do much, which is fantastic. So, and I was like, geez, but she takes it down quick right after Christmas. So I'm like, you know what? I don't mind if it comes up earlier because then it just doesn't stay around forever. And I think it's down on like January 2nd. And it's, it's big, it looks nice. Now, of course, your son's 11, so it's got like little ornaments of different reminders from different things he's done. And I don't mind, but we don't play Christmas music in our house until December.
I have it going on all day.
Right now?
Oh yeah, I love it in the background.
Really?
I love it, especially now that our house, is decorated. It's nice. I love music, just something in the background.
Okay.
How much say do you actually have on putting up and what goes on your tree? Because I found out yesterday, my wife's like, hey, my daughter, we're sitting around, we're like, hey, let's get, Sunday, let's plan this out. And I realized is all I did was just do the grunt work. I was just running up and down, bringing the bins back and forth, and my suggestions of what and where I wanted things were.
You didn't get any.
I didn't get a lot of say. I was just literally the grunt guy. Do you get say?
Well, I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. Like, I don't. No, we have all the balls. Like, what do we mean? What say? Like, what other special stuff you put on your tree? Like, do you go buy new stuff every year?
Oh no. We have but just where I just found that
Like
my
how you
opinion-
decorate it?
how you decorate it,
Oh,
where
God,
it goes,
dude,
what goes.
I don't have an opinion on it. I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I look at the tree. I'm like, oh, these things look good. Great, done. I don't have. I have no say because I really have no interest. No, like I think that's true though. Like, it's like I find in marriage sometimes the biggest mistake you make is when you have an opinion on something you really don't care about.
Good point.
Right? It's like you're arguing over something. I'm like, well, I really don't care about it. So why would I do it? Now, when I have an opinion on something, I'll speak up. But most of the other times, like when we built our house, I had to pretend I was interested some days. Like, oh yeah, there's like 16 different colors of gray. And I'm like, what? They look the same to me. But I just said, hey, I trust your opinion on this stuff. Because ultimately, I trust her enough that she was never going to do anything stupid, like where you'd be like, oh God, like it looks amazing. Like I've never kind of come up with some of this stuff. But do you think I wanted to look at some guys do, great, but that's not my thing. I had input on the gym. I had input on, I wanted carpet in my bedroom because I don't like getting up in the middle of the night because everyone's like, well, you put hardwood, but then you put a throw rug. I'm like, why would I pay more for hardwood than just to put a rug on top of it? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. So, I like having carpet. That was really why
do you want the carpet? So that your delicate feet don't touch the...
No, I just don't like, I just like it's softer. That's all. It's just softer, right? Softer and it's a little bit warmer. I like it because it's soft. So there would never be, but I never get too caught up in the things I don't like. I know sometimes you have to pretend you care, but even then I was like, honestly, like it doesn't matter to me. Like whatever color you want to put in the bathroom, I'm not going to be that concerned about it because I'm in the bathroom to go to the washroom and then I'm the hell out of there. I'm not hanging out in there. So as long as it's not yellow, that's what I know. Yellow is the most uninviting color. Don't put yellow on the walls.
Yellow? Who goes yellow on?
Well, they say like even for kids' room, you shouldn't put yellow because yellow, something about the color and it's not overly inviting people to want to stay there. Yeah.
So what kind of tree do you have? The traditional or you got, you have all the different?
Well, that was the thing I gave in. Like I always had a real tree growing up on the farm. So we just have like this, we have raised like in our living room, it's like 15-foot ceiling. So we have like a 10-foot tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's massive, but it looks good. At least I think it does. I don't know if anybody else does, but I like how it looks. So, and I had no say on which bells go where, Brownie. I'm just like, hey, put the white ones here, put the flowers there. It's all good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, sure. I don't like that saying either because guys are 50% of life. So happy marriage, happy life, right? If your wife's happy and you're unhappy, then you're not happy. That's just a fact. So as a guy, I hate that saying. I think it's incredibly sexist and I would never say to my house. We're both should be happy, not just her. Because if she's happy and I'm not, then we're unhappy. It's just how it goes. Like, guys, I don't fall into that garbage. I hate it. Sorry, but that's one of like the sayings it irks me the most of all time. Brownie, have yourself a great day.
Okay.
And we'll chat with you next Monday. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Are you looking for a great deal? You can get 0% financing right now. I don't even know if that's real, but it is. Stop in, say hi to Mike and the boys at Northgate. Here's Connor Halley.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers in Buffalo taking on the Sabres. Puck drop just after 5. Pre-game coverage with Gregor, Walker, and Ferraro coming up next. Elsewhere in the NHL, you got the Bruins and the Canes. Kings in Washington. Jackets host the Canadians, and the Mammoth taking on the Ducks in the NFL. Week 11 wraps up tonight. Raiders Cowboys from Vegas. That gets going at 6:15 off the field. Bengals wide out. Jamar Chase suspended for one game after he spit at Steelers corner Jalen Ramsey in the 34-12 loss. And in the association, Raptors taking on the Hornets just after 5:30. Up next, pregame coverage with Andrew Walker. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
It's the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Edmonton's only 24/7 sports station, Sports 1440.
Hey everybody, welcome inside the Sports 1440 studios, smack dab in the middle of the Jason Gregor Show. It is the 7-game road trip out east continues for the Edmonton Oilers. So another early start, 5 p.m. puck drop, and the pregame show with myself for the next hour. It's Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley will be on the air with the postgame show as well with Donovan Paulson immediately following. So since the 9-1 loss heard around the world a couple of weeks ago, the Oilers have won 3 of 4 and are coming off a pretty good win, a 4-3 feel-good overtime win over Carolina on Saturday. They weren't perfect. Second period was pretty rough, but they're getting to the point where, especially the big guns, they can outscore a couple of problems. Early in the year, they weren't defending that well. They weren't getting that good of goaltending, and the offense couldn't bail them out. So, the recipe equals a lot of losses, right? So certain things are coming around. We saw the Zach Hyman impact in his first game back. And, it's funny, you say like 11 hits. You feel like this is like a scorer, a home scorer giving you the Cal Clutterbuck treatment or something, but it was not. It was in Carolina, and Hyman was hitting everything that moved. It was infamous. And in Long Island, they would just gift Clutterbuck 15 hits. That's why he has all the records. It is the Titan Supply pregame show, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Titan Supply. Visit titansupply.ca. Hyman was, we hyped it up quite a bit. First game is always a little bit of maybe placebo, adrenaline, but everything that he does well, it's not about necessarily getting your hands back or getting your leg. He's just all heart. He's all hustle. He does every little thing that about half of this roster doesn't really want to do, or at least hasn't to this point of the season. So it's very, very noticeable. He had his fingerprints all over that win on Saturday.
Well, it looked like it was a playoff game for him physical wise. Like his previous career high had been 7 hits and he got 11. So it's a massive jump up, and, chipped in with an assist, played 23 minutes. He can will guys in. He's a very positive person. I don't know if anybody who's ever met Zach Hyman, like he's a very genuine human being. I met a lot of players who, at times aren't, but he's definitely like a good human and very competitive. I think, fans saw him when they talked about the first time they lost the cup final, and, he was in there and he's like, we'll be back. And, you're trying to find a positive.
Yep, and they were
in it. And so I think that team, Connor McDavid even addressed it after the game. Like he says, Zach's very positive, not beaten. We need that. And so not every guy is going to be, not everybody's a glass half full person. And sometimes having a grumpy guy in the room isn't a bad thing either, right? Like you can have some fun with it in a weird way. But yeah, I think Hyman, it helps their team because if you do have to play McDavid and Draisaitl together, if Hyman's on another line, at least that line can do something. But with the Hyman playing, I'd like to see less of McDavid and Draisaitl together and more of them apart, because and I guess it's a chicken and the egg thing right now. And I understand as a coach it's hard because Right now, there's a lot of guys not scoring. So if you put McDavid and Draisaitl together, well, that increases your chances to score. So I understand that on one hand. On the other hand, it's like, well, what if both of them are on the ice? And then we can get more guys, because Savoy and Hyman, and then Roslovic, he's scoring, right? Hyman comes back. Savoy's playing well. Well, we should have 2 lines, and that's really good. And then all we need is our third and fourth line to chip in once every now and then, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more so like their third and fourth line has to bring some other elements to the game when it isn't offense. And they're not because they're not scoring. They're not really hitting. They're not fighting. What the hell are they doing? Or like I remember a coach in junior said, you have to do something each game to get noticed. If you're not scoring, okay, then what are you doing? Well, tonight maybe I'm physical, right? Like look at Zach Hyman. Didn't score a goal, but his fingerprints were all over the game.
Mm-hmm.
How many guys in their bottom 6 are having their fingerprints on the game in any form?
Almost nothing. I've liked Janmark since he's gotten back.
Yeah.
But again, that's a veteran guy you trust. Same with Henrique.
I've liked Henrique.
Yeah, Henrique, I go back and forth on because, this is a really good player that's not overly noticeable, but he's, not being put into big, you just trust him, right? When the season gets to a certain point and when things really matter, I just trust that Henrique is going to be all right. So when I look at up and down this roster, it's a bit of a wait and see on Matt Savoy. He's going to get a run up here with these big guys, but I feel like that's a better spot for him than, again, trying to carve out an identity in the bottom 6. Mangiapane has yet to find his, what Brownie was talking about earlier, his identity. Trent Frederick, had a little bit of energy going because he got punched in the face a bunch by Matthew Olivier, but Frederick isn't there yet. Noah Philp, I'm not sure what this guy does. Lazar has only played a handful of games. I don't know, when Nugent Hopkins gets back, obviously it fills out the lineup a little more. And again, you can almost start looking ahead to the trade deadline, right? If some guy just isn't cutting it, well, they'll get bumped down and they'll bring in some guys that will. But to me, the key moving forward is because like they could bring in new forwards. They could move some lines around. Nugent Hopkins will get back. Kapanen will probably get back in the lineup. The defense isn't changing a whole lot, right? Eklund, Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, Kulak, Emberson, Regula, Stetcher on waivers. He's now a Toronto Maple Leaf. They're not really, unless some really nice player, a la Wallman, comes available at the deadline or they get an injury. This is the defense core. So this defense core, when they really hit their stride, and I think they will, when they start playing really well, and you got about, let's say, half the forwards going, you're going to be tough to beat. Like, that's where the Oilers are. It's a very high floor. But yeah, to your point, the bottom 6 kind of needs to figure out. I don't know if we've had in this market like a really solid third or fourth line where you knew the guys were never going to get elevated, and yet they had that idea. Like I mentioned, Clutterbuck, he played with Martin and Cizikas for the better part of 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
The best line I can remember playing here, maybe outside of, because 06 you had the Torres Stoll line or whatever, but it was, remember the Brodziak, Glenn Cross, Stortini line? That is everything you want in a fourth line.
Yeah, they were for a short period.
They were unbelievable
for a short period. Yeah, because Brodziak
until the end of the year.
Yeah, Brodziak was a very good defensive player, right? And he's big and physical, right? And Kyle really was like, Kyle was a third line center for many years in the NHL, right? Scored 20 goals, played a lot of tough minutes, took pride in his role. And
that year, I gotta look
Glenn
back.
Cross got hot for about like 10 or 15 game stretch where he seemed to score a lot and then never really ever, captured it again.
Well, I disagree a little bit. I think that the Oilers messed that up by letting him go to Calgary. But if you remember, they were kind of saving all their pennies because they were trying to get Thomas Vanek.
Yeah.
Right. They made a big offer to Jaromir Jagr that year. And then they,
that was a bad year. You're right. The Oilers, mistake
they lost
made
Glenn Cross.
was letting
Glenn
him go.
Cross was 15, 20 goals for a bunch of years.
Well, I think he scored 26. Did he not 1 year?
It's a good player. Yeah. But my point is and maybe it's lightning in a bottle, but they had the line of Stortini, Glenn Cross, and Brodziak for the last third of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the team wasn't very good, but they were making a little bit of a run in the second half. And you had I
think they missed the playoffs. That was 08. right? They missed the playoffs by like 3 years or something.
It was
or 3 points.
It was probably the best year they had in the decade of darkness because they, all of a sudden you thought that Cogliano and Nielsen and these guys were going to take a step, and then you had that line, and then they screwed it all up. But it would be great to have a third or fourth line like that had just an identity, right? And Frederick should be there.
Well, yeah,
right?
Frederick's the guy who he did it in Boston. He scored 17, 18 goals, was physical. He has got to get out of his own head. When he starts talking about goal scoring, like I get you want to chip in. I totally understand it. But when you're not scoring, then what are you doing? And right now, because now he's in it. And when you get in the muck and you got no confidence, and now your coach, because you can tell if a coach has confidence in a player, it doesn't matter what he says. Actions speak louder than words all the time. And all I got to look at is time on ice. It is the easiest way you can tell how coaches view their players.
100%.
And
Frederick played about 7 minutes on Saturday.
Last few games.
Yeah.
He's had multiple games where he's down to 10 minutes a night or under. And so it's like the coach he's now, and I know it's year one of an 8-year deal. And hey, I remember Connor Brown was healthy scratch for a few games when he came in his first year in Edmonton, and people thought he was terrible. And you're like, God, is this guy going to be Tobias Reeder? And then he got his confidence and he felt a little bit better and he scored. Could Frederick get back to, get on a streak where he scores, 8 goals in 20 games? Probably. Doesn't mean he's going to do it all year long, of course, but could he have a stretch? Yeah. And that's what they'll need. At some point, he has to work himself out of it because that's the only way. You can't just hope and pray, right? And play on the perimeter, right? And don't go fight the NHL tough guy. Like, he did it great, but that's not what he needs to do. He needs to go into scrums, and he needs to get mad, and he needs to have a shift after shift where it's like, oh my God, we were in the offensive zone and we just handed it off to our next line because we had a good positive shift.
Yeah, draw some penalties. Like even that I mentioned this the day after because we talked a lot in that Columbus game. But like, Frederick was, whatever on the Instagram, Twitter post, he's wearing the safety vest or whatever they give out, right? And people are on the text line talk about Frederick. Wow, what balls he shows up and take like he didn't do anything else. He played 11 minutes and he challenged Olivier. Like, great, it's a wonderful start. But it hasn't been built on at all emotionally for Frederick.
No,
the only thing he got out of it was, a few compliments and a black eye. That was about it.
Yeah, he played 11 and a half minutes that game. Then he played 10 minutes against Philly. Then he played 9:21 against Columbus, and then it was 7:08 against Carolina. And he's -3. He has one shot in his last 4 games. So guess what? You're not doing enough, right? Like Trent Frederick has been a plus player in 2 games this season. One in New York when he scored the goal, and one in the opening night of the season against Calgary. That's it, right? So you're not scoring. He had a few stretches there. It started in Vancouver. He had 8 games. I thought Vancouver, Rangers, Chicago, St. Louis played all right. But, yeah, he needs to do more. There's no question in my mind. He needs to do more. And so he's got to work his way out of it. There's that. Like, he's playing on a line with Henrique and Mangiapane.
I mean, those are NHL guys.
They're NHL guys.
Yeah,
you can't tell me those guys shouldn't be able against look at Buffalo's third line tonight. Because that's what I look at and say, okay, who are they going to play against most likely? I know Buffalo's at home, but are you telling me that Buffalo's going to put out Tyson Kozak against McDavid or Draisaitl? No. So Tyson Kozak, Peyton Krebs, and Jordan Greenway. Are you telling me you can't match up and maybe get some scoring chances against that line?
Sure. And Greenway, that's a guy you can challenge if you're Frederick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is okay. So are we still, and I'm going to say that, and this is what drove me crazy earlier in the season with changing the lines every 2 seconds and, the lack of aggression from guys like Frederick. Like, what are you worried about? Taking a penalty, like losing a game? Oilers always lose games early in the season. So if you're going to lose games, get some value out of it, right? And to me, like, they're playing better, right? They're like, the record is fine. But I'm still not overly concerned about wins and losses. And by that, I mean this. Watching Zach Hyman, and yes, he instantly goes with Connor McDavid, and I get it. It would be really, like, to me, he's like the fixer, right? I feel like Zach Hyman could get anybody going. Like, would there be, now hear me out a little bit, would there be a world in which you're like, okay, listen, Hyman, we're going to put you with Frederick for a while. Like, because that's the guy, right? That's the guy that Trent Frederick, man, if you can become 35% of what Zach Hyman is, that would be fine. That would be a fine value on the deal, 35 to 40%. Easier said than done, but like if I'm the coach, I'm thinking of moving Zach Hyman around the lineup to get guys going. Like to me, he would get a player going more so than McDavid would. Does that make sense?
In different ways, yes. Well, if you're talking maybe in energy, yeah, okay, I could say, hey, play Frederick with Hyman a few shifts, and maybe that ignites a fire.
Sure, you get Nuge back. You let Nuge play with McDavid, Savoy. You put Hyman. And Hyman's going to get power play and penalty kill time.
But I would argue, I would say I would play Nugent Hopkins down the middle with Frederick and Henrique. Or I guess maybe even like I'm kind of, when Nugent Hopkins comes back here, like I'm not sure where Mangiapane fits. My concern with Mangiapane is he doesn't win any battles.
Oh, he might end up on the fourth line just like he was in Washington. Yeah. Like there's, but you can't, like, Mangiapane's lost and Frederick's lost. So how are playing together? How is that going to help? They're going to get each other going. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know what? You're in the NHL, and the truth of the matter is you got to get yourself going.
Sure.
No.
And these aren't Roslovic, $1.5 million deals. These are both term guys now. Short term for Mangiapane, but it is the Titan Supply pregame show. Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, lots to get to. Landon Farrar is going to join us in about 10-15 minutes from now. Our game day analyst, brought to you by Ed's Auto Salvage. All right, let's get you your clue for the River Cree over-under contest. We'll talk about this. I'm sure Greg's has talked about it on the show, but it is the first game against his former team for Matthew Savoy. So a bit of a revenge narrative, I suppose. McLeod's already played the Oilers. McLeod's doing just fine in life. He gets a $5 million contract, and per year, the career high 53 points last year's have another good season. So I think both teams probably pretty happy with this deal, although listen, McLeod's a lot more proven than Savoy is. But the over-under question for the River Cree Resort and Casino, very simple. Will Matt Savoy find his way on the score sheet tonight? So any kind of point, over-under 0.5 points for Matthew Savoy, still playing up on the Connor McDavid line. Just send us a text, 1-833-401-1440, over or under, and we could send you $100 to the River Cree Resort and Casino. Catch all your favorite sports live on the big screens at Tap 25, and in the center bar, visit rivercreeresort.com. So will Savoy get on the score sheet tonight? A point of any kind. Lots of over picks already on the text line.
Maybe the reverse trend, because Oiler fans accurately a lot of time will former Oiler tonight's going to score, and he does. So maybe it'll be the reversed tonight, and a Oiler scores against his former team.
Speaking of reverse, this is exactly, and I know a lot of people rip the Sabres for that deal, right? They draft the guy in the top 10, and this would have been the exact deal that speaking of the decade of darkness Oilers, that they should have made. Right? Like trade out one of your young guys that you took in the first round and bring in a semi-young, established, everyday NHL centerman. I think the Sabres are probably quite happy with what they got.
How could they not be? Like,
yeah.
I think too many people get caught up in winning and losing. It's like the new thing in society now. Oh yeah, he's the winner. Blah blah. Oh look, you got ratio. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Like, not every trade is about winning. Trades can be about both sides having success from it. Buffalo has had more return early on in the McLeod trade. Now Edmonton got a cheaper guy, and he's on an entry-level deal for this year and next year. And they felt like, you know what, maybe he has the potential of being a better top-end scorer. Now, that's potential. Hasn't panned out yet, but it's way too early to judge it. Buffalo definitely got better return early on, but they should have. They were getting an NHL player for a prospect.
I love this trade because, like, even the Ryan McLeod, and I know it was very on vogue last year. It's, look what McLeod's doing, look what Fogel's doing, blah blah blah. I look at McLeod, and I don't care if McLeod had 75 points. Holloway, Broberg, they were in there too. I don't care if McLeod had 75 points. Like, him here had reached his ceiling. And to me, when he gassed that puck away in Game 7 against the Vancouver Canucks and Connor Garland, like, the Oilers had played, for my money, in this little 5-year stretch that they've had of deep playoff runs, their best game they played in any of these games was that Game 7 in Vancouver, where the first 52 minutes, they just dominated the Vancouver Canucks. It was going to be the lamest Game 7 ever. And then McLeod turned that puck over right on the stick of Garland. It's 3-1. A couple of minutes later, it's 3-2. And thank God they held on. And it was very good final 5 minutes after that. But I feel like when McLeod turned that puck over, it was kind of the end for him in the organization. That was my feeling. Like, this was a guy, if they lost, and they did eventually lose, he was going to be moved out. And salary comes with that or whatever. He was never going to be a top 6 guy. So no matter, like, you want your guy to go on and have success in Buffalo. Sure, go play great. You're out of conference. Who cares? But I like the trade. I liked it for Buffalo. I liked it for Edmonton. They cleared out some cap room. And a guy getting a bunch of different points on a different line with different players and a different team in a different conference, it doesn't, to your point, it doesn't make it a win or a loss.
Yeah, no. Like, Buffalo got good return last year, but so did Edmonton, because Savoy developed how he should have been in the minors. Because the trade wasn't about it wasn't about last season, right? It's not every trade is just about the immediate future, right? It's and I know that it's fine, but in a lot of people want instant gratification and instant reaction. Oh, they won and they lost. So that's fine, but it doesn't to suggest anybody won or lost a trade right away is kind of, you want to say, hey, I think they won the trade. Okay, you think it, great. Now let's see what plays out. And it's usually 5 years before you can really, especially when it involves a young prospect like Matt Savoy. What he is today is not going to be what he is in 2 years, because he's going to have more experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's the same with my favorite things are about 20 seconds after the entry draft. You got some blogger somewhere saying, hey, here's the winners and the losers of the draft, because these were my rankings.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And look
Based
how
on
different,
that.
look
Yes.
how different the actual draft was from my ranking. So that's how you determine the winner or the loser. And sometimes, like, okay, so 06, right? The Oilers go out and have a fabulous deadline. They bring in Dwayne Rolison for a first. They bring in Sergei Samsonov for a second, right? Samsonov, what a great Oiler down the stretch and scored some big goals. They almost win the Stanley Cup. You know what they gave up for Sergei Samsonov?
Yeah, it was a 50th pick overall, which turned out to be Lucic. But I always say that doesn't mean the Oilers would have taken him at 50.
Sure. But like it's you give up a pick, Boston gets a franchise guy, and what? It's a bad trade that you got Samsonov because that was Lucic. It's just, you can't look at it that way.
Yeah, like you went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, and Samsonov scored some key goals down the stretch for your team. And had you won, right? Because, hey, that's why the trade deadline is, if you say, well, the only winners are the ones who win, well, then everybody's a loser. Then no one should ever trade because only one team could win.
One of our only looks at, they play the Sabres twice, obviously, but Alex Tuch. I know a lot of people are hot and heavy for Alex Tuch. What about you?
Oh, God. He answers, he checks a lot of boxes on what the Oilers need.
Mm-hmm.
He's another, because Edmonton still needs, like, I like Podkolzin. I still think Podkolzin is more of a third-line player than he is a second-line player, just because he doesn't have the offensive finish, or he hasn't shown it yet to be a second-line player. All right, Alex Tuch is a legit second-line finisher. There's no question in my mind. Now, he's another right shot. That's the only difference. Now, it doesn't mean he can't play the left side, but if I look at what Edmonton needs a finishing left shot, right? Like Roslovic, right shot. Zach Hyman, right shot. Now, that doesn't mean you can't play the left side. I get it. But just in certain areas of the ice, it helps having a lefty. And so, but I like Tuch because he's physical. He can skate well. He's big, and he's a finisher, right? Like, he scored 36 goals multiple times in his career. He's almost a point-a-game guy. He's definitely, without question, a legit top 6 forward on your team.
Yeah, that's the guy for me too. There's going to be, listen, Sabres are once again last in the conference, right? So it's not a deep last. Like, there's a lot of parity. Everyone is in it, but yeah, Tuch is most likely going to be traded. And There'll be a bidding war, though. There'll be a lot of teams that want him. I wonder if Vegas wants to bring him back, if they can fit him in. But yeah,
but if you look at it,
big score.
Look at the history right now of top guys on teams. They all sign with their team, right? Like Tuck, he's from there. He loves it there. I think
he already paused, but didn't he pause?
Well, yeah, he said he was going to pause negotiations just because, right? He kind of wants to see what happens. But, for some guys, like Buffalo's going to give him the money. So it's not going to be about money, right? It's going to be about, do you want to have a chance to win? And now he had a chance, right? With Vegas, and they were obviously very close. They went to I think he had 3 years in Vegas where they went to the third round, for goodness sake. So, and 1 year to the Stanley Cup final. So he's had a lot of.
They got Jack Eichel,
right?
So
So they've had lots of success. But since he left there, he hasn't had a sniff in the playoffs. So, how much of it will matter? But I'll say that if he doesn't sign by the trade deadline, then if you're Buffalo, I think you got to trade him, because now he can always sign as a free agent later. But usually, once they leave, they're not coming back.
Okay, we'll take a break. On the other side, Landon Ferraro. By the way, really quickly, the Dr. Vance Elliott hairline injury report, the world leader in hair restoration. Visit drvanceelliott.com for a free consultation today. Pretty simple for the Oilers. It's still just Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Kasperi Kapanen. For Buffalo, surprise, surprise, Josh Norris is on the IR, as are Justin Danforth, Yuri Kulik, good young player, Zach Benson, Jason Zucker, and former Oiler farmhand Michael Kesselring, who they got in that Peterka deal, along with Josh Doan. Josh Doan has been a very good Buffalo Sabre, actually, to this point. Another deal that everyone wants to crap on right away, but I don't mind that deal for the Sabres as much as I like Peterka. Okay, that is the injury report. On the other side, Landon Ferraro, our game day analyst for Ed's Auto Salvage. It is the Titan Supply pregame show on Sports 1440.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seater chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off, and with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie. Medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal, and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Pre-matchups are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. For all your automotive needs, go to your trusted experts in high-quality parts, tools, equipment, and more. That's Napa know-how.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Sports 1440 and the pregame show with Andrew Walker. We are Edmonton's sports leader.
Welcome back to Titan Supply pregame show. Oilers Sabres coming up in 30 minutes from now. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca. Andrew Walker taking over the Jason Gregor Show for the next 30 minutes. Connor Halley along with us as well. Landon Ferraro just moments away. Our game day analyst for Ed's Auto Salvage will be back on the air with the post-game show, joined by Donovan Paulson coming up. In case you missed it, the River Cree over-under centers around former Sabre Matt Savoy, who's playing up with Connor McDavid once again tonight. Will he find the score sheet? So over-under 0.5 points. Any point is an over. Just give us a text, 1-833-401-1440, and you could win $100 to the River Cree Resort and Casino. When did the Kempe deal happen? Like today?
No,
Just now?
No, it happened yesterday.
Wow. I was too into
8 years, 10.65.
I was too into football, and now I'm depressed
It's a good
because
deal.
that's the guy. That's the guy.
It's a good deal for LA. Obviously, it's a very good deal for Kempe. He gets pretty good security for the rest of his life, and basically $85 million. And he's just another example of players who like where they're at. They get paid a lot. You knew LA, like, there was no way LA was going to let him go. They're losing Kopitar. He's their main guy. Like, how could they? Drew Doughty's getting older. You had to keep Kempe.
Now Doughty's hurt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so no, I think
Grant Clark time.
that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. Again, unless he thought that they weren't close to winning. But if he wanted to test, put it this way: so he gets eight times 10 or whatever, 10.5. If he opted to check out the market, he would have got more than that. So.
Yeah, probably. I would think so. Yeah. Because everybody
loved him here.
Lots of guys are willing to overpay.
Yeah,
for sure.
Landon Ferraro for Ed's Auto Salvage, former NHLer, joins us every pre- and post-game show. Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Let me find the liner here. There you go. The used parts experts, province-wide shipping, daily delivery to Edmonton. Visit edsautosalvage.com. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I finally got my breath back in me. I'm trying to build an IKEA desk right now, and the IKEA desk is winning. Never going smooth. Just force it. Right? That's how you build things.
How many times have you yelled at it and it hasn't responded?
To be honest, 0 yells, but the internal struggle it's been a battle. Let's just put it that way.
I know people like IKEA. I hate everything about it. I hate the whole process. I hate fighting the traffic. I hate walking through the whole stupid store. I hate, going down and needing to find it in the stock room and then loading it to your car and then putting it together. I hate it. Never again. Yeah, I think part of being an adult is never having to do that again.
Yeah, let me put on my surprise face. Something that a lot of people like, you don't like. That's just shocking.
No, hey, with good reason. I don't hate it because it's popular. I hate it because I don't enjoy the process at all. Unless they sponsor the post-game show, then I'm all IKEA all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those places I love. I actually don't mind going by myself. Going with my wife, that's an argument waiting to happen. Like, I'm going to get frustrated, then she's getting frustrated at me. It's just not a good place.
We did go a little while ago because we're in the market for, tables and chairs and things like that. So we did go, and then this put me off. I didn't want to go, and then this put me off forever. So we walk around, takes forever. We look at every little nook and cranny. We finally found these like bar stools that is like, you know what? I think these are the ones. I think we can get 6 of these. This is going to be good. So we go down and we're looking forever in the stock room. No, they don't have them. They don't have them. They're on display, but they don't have them. They don't have them anywhere. They don't even make them anymore. So why are they on display? Anyway, we left IKEA without anything. A few meatballs. That was about it. And then I said, never again. Never going to do it. But
yes, I mean, fair enough.
You actually ate their meatballs?
No, I did not. And I actually don't. I know this is unpopular too. I don't really eat the Costco stuff too, like the famous dollar hot dogs.
No, I've never had one until 5 years ago. It's unreal. It's the best hot dog I've ever had. I have one like once a year now, and it's so damn good.
Really?
Oh yeah. No.
Like every
the Costco
Canucks,
hot dog is legit good.
It's
every
different than
Canucks,
other hot dogs.
Yes, it's not even close.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah, you can't comment if you haven't had one. I'm telling
I'm
you.
not. I'm not anti hot dog. I'm just saying.
Go try one for $1. First of all, it's $1.50 for a hot dog, and you get a drink. Now I don't have pop, so I just have water. But still, I'm like, this is unreal. Yeah.
Every Canucks pregame skate, I park underneath Costco,
right across
the street from it, and it is a battle not to get the hot dog every single time that I go.
It's not $1.50, but I always, I don't go out to like the bar anymore. Like we know I was in Red Deer, and there's Billy Buds and Bellinis, and so you leave and it's 2 a.m. and you get the triangle sausage thing from the sausage cart right outside the bar. I crave that sometimes, but I'm not going to go out at 2:30 in the morning outside a bar to do it. But I do miss that.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Donair at 2 a.m. Sign me up.
Yeah.
That's
Best thing ever invented.
Oh, that's why you got to try a place on a Saturday afternoon when you're stone sober, and that's when you know if it's a good Donair place.
Yeah, that's sometimes you just don't even want to know, right? Like you just keep it as the happy end of the night thing. I don't need it on a 2 o'clock on a Saturday.
So Landon, we were talking about Ryan McLeod and Matt Savoy and how a trade can, believe it or not, work out for both teams, and I think it probably has for Buffalo, and we'll see what Matt Savoy does as an Edmonton Oiler, but he's getting better, or at least more comfortable, I should say, every game, and looks like he's getting a run here with Connor McDavid. He's had a nice little road trip so far. Tonight, it'll just be obviously a big one for Savoy. There's probably a little bit of money on the board, and the guys are talking about it in a game like this.
Yeah, for sure. And with Savoy, I feel like he's so fast and he's a bit of a water bug out there, but in the last few games or so, his feet are still moving, but his hands have slowed down in a good way, right? When he gets an opportunity, he doesn't seem so excited for it. It almost surprised him that he got himself into a spot to make a play. And, he just seems to be settling in, and that's what you expect out of a guy playing in his first full year up, just getting more comfortable as it goes along. And then, we've talked about it before, but that vote of confidence that would be shot into you when you get put with McDavid and you're in those positions and you're getting to play with one of the best, how would you not get more confident out of that? It's been fun to watch him as he kind of takes his strides and, kind of keeps building to what he's trying to be in the league.
Well, and it's hard, but I felt that Knobloch's actually used him pretty well. Didn't use him early on, and didn't put too much pressure on him. The team is struggling. Last thing he needs is to put a young guy on the ice in key situations. Doesn't work, and then he's like, "Oh my God, I'm not helping at all." So I thought they protected him. And once his big guys started finding their game, then he put Matt Savoy with them. And guess what? Now it's easier. Matt Savoy, you got to be, not all, but you got to be a complimentary guy when you play with McDavid and Draisaitl. You don't have to be the driver. He's got confidence. He'll hold on to the puck. He just doesn't look for them automatically, which I think is smart. But he recognizes that, hey, if I can get them the puck in a good spot, it's going to help us. And yeah, I've liked a lot about Savoy's game. His defensive game on the penalty kill has been very solid. So I just look for him to keep going. Roslovic's definitely found his game. You get Hyman back. Now you've kind of got something going in your top six for sure. And then it's just a matter of they need guys in their bottom six here to get going because they're getting crushed with McDavid and Draisaitl not on the ice. And you don't have to outscore the opposition, but you can't be getting folded in 2-1.
No, and so much sits on McDavid and Draisaitl's shoulders already, and you're right. For the bottom six guys, at worst you need to be net zero through the game. You can't make it harder on the big guys to have to go out and score more goals. But I mean, that's kind kind of been the conversation about Edmonton for the past couple of years is you have a ton of production out of the top and not so much at all out of the bottom. And, getting Hyman back and, eventually here Nugent Hopkins coming back in, like that settles everything in. And before you know it, like that forward group actually looks pretty deep, and it looks like some lines that should be able to contribute and at a minimum, like go in and hold play in the offensive zone. Whether it goes in or not is almost irrelevant. Obviously it's great if they can chip in that way, but it's more about, like tiring out the other defense and the other line and building some momentum. And, like we've seen so many times where a line does have good possession in the offensive zone and they make that one change, and whether it's McDavid or Draisaitl are topping over first and they're coming on with a full tank of energy and they just take over and they score within like 10 seconds. Like they need some of that help. They need some guys that are going to go in and grind it out a bit and play those hard minutes that you slowly start to pull some momentum back into your team's favor.
Landon Ferraro joins us for Ed's Auto Salvage here in the pregame show. Here's something for both of you. So Skinner starts tonight in Buffalo. He's very good, I thought, in Carolina. I think Skinner's been pretty good the last couple of weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pickard, myself personally, I'm about out on Pickard. I don't think it's been very competitive. I think he's had his moments as an Oiler. I'm not comfortable putting him back in. Now he's gonna play either Wednesday or Thursday, you would think, on that back-to-back. I was on the record after the Philly win. I would have started Skinner the next game in Columbus. So where are you guys right now on Pickard? And is it fait accompli that he's getting one of the Washington Tampa games right now? Because right now it feels like a punt with your backup goaltender, which is not a great feeling.
No, I mean, it's not a great feeling. And, the issue is, though, if it's not going to be him, like what is your other option right now? Like Skinner can't play every game. And with Pickard, like he's fought it, a good amount this season, but, Ingram's not quite ready yet. He's getting his reps in the American League, but so if it's not going to be him, like what is your option? You can't just go grab another goalie, right? Like there's lots of teams that would love, a more proven backup, but it's not out there right now. So for the Oilers, I think, when we've talked about it a decent amount, but for them, it's about cleaning up the chances in front of them, trying to make the game easier for them, not giving up so many grade A's in the middle of the spot or those cross crease ones where he's having to get side to side. Like just make the game as easy as possible and see if you can get him in a bit of a rhythm to where he can give you some decent outings.
Well, that's the challenge. But look at so he's going to have to play one of the Washington or Tampa Bay games. I'm assuming it's Tampa Bay, right? Like I'm guessing. And I know the team defense necessarily hasn't been good in front of him, but as Kevin Woodley outlined, he's even below expected. So he's just
he hasn't been.
No,
I feel like
I'm not sitting there trying to protect him. It's just I don't know what the other option is right now. Like to go find another backup, it's just not. It's not there especially for what the Oilers are willing to be, essentially be giving up for it.
Well, the difference is, I know a lot of people have been yelling about this for years. Go get a goalie. I agree. You can't just go get a goalie, but I do think you could go get any warm body, and he could be your backup here. That's where Calvin Pickard's game is to me. I don't care if you're, bringing up a veteran guy from the A or the East Coast or plucking a guy off waivers. I don't really care. Like to me, it could be anybody right now because right now your guy is 64th out of 64.
Yeah, like you're at the point just even if the other guy comes in and does the exact same, at least it's a different person trying to do it.
Correct.
Like you're at that point.
And
right now.
I'd play Skinner more, right? I wouldn't be afraid to play him the odd back-to-back. Like I don't understand why we're so afraid of that. We We want him to get his confidence and get the ball rolling, and then he plays good and he sits the next game. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think that he could be playing more, and for a guy like Skinner, like, I think it would be good for him as well, right? Like, he seems to, like, he's a guy that really gets in a rhythm, and when he's on, like, he's really on. And when you're getting good outings from him, like, I think you need to take full advantage of that and play him, 3 of 4, like, start getting him in there a decent amount more and ride those highs and try and figure out the low when it comes. But no, I do agree. Like, he's someone to me that when he's feeling good, like, you need to take advantage of it and grab as many points as you can out of that stretch. And then you try and, kind of grind out a couple more points when he has his down tick and needs the little bit of time to get back rolling again.
Landon, let's take a look at the matchups for Napa Auto Parts. For all your automotive needs, go to your trusted experts in high-quality parts, tools, equipment, and more. That's Napa know-how. This Sabres team, there's a lot of pieces to like. I mean, there has been for a lot of years, and yet they wake up and they find themselves very injured and last in the Eastern Conference. So when you look at this Oilers club and the way they match up with this team tonight, I think they've lost 4 of their last 5 in Buffalo. Why do they give them trouble, and how, and from a matchup perspective, how can you impose your will on the Sabres tonight?
Well, I mean, I think part of it is when they get the Sabres, like, it turns into a bit more of a track meet. Like, they want, especially in the past, like, the Buffalo's had some skill guys. They just haven't had the best team, and they try and open it up a little bit more and start trading chances a bit. For the Oilers, it's about what we were just kind of talking about a bit before there. It's about trying to extend the ozone time, really try and make those guys defend, because their team defense isn't at the top of the league, but at the same time, there's a way to really kind of slow down their transition game, take as much of their skill out of it, because there's not as many guys that can drive play. It's also, a bit of the old, like, don't play down to the level of the team that you're playing. Like, you got to make them come up to your level. So, like, playing some good defense, not passing up shots, getting yourself into the middle and into the guts of the ice a bit more, and you start making it, like a really tough game for the Sabres to even really get their legs moving into.
He is Landon Farrar for Ed's Auto Salvage, former Bruin, Wild, and Detroit Red Wing. We'll talk to you again in the post-game show, Landon, or are you working Canucks tonight?
Nope, you got me all the way through.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
Oh, I knew you'd say that. It makes your entire day.
Yes, good luck with the old IKEA. I'm
going to get it done before puck drop.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm almost there.
There was where's this text? Someone on the text line was giving you a hard time. He's like, come on, like, he basically said, come on, Landon, there's one tool. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, but then I brought my own drill into the mix, which, again, is probably not for the best. But for the amount of IKEA furniture I've made over my career of constantly moving, I should be better at it. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm surprised that your wife lets you use power tools, though. That's good. Mine still doesn't. So
yeah, she's at work.
Yeah. All right. He's Landon for Ed's Auto Salvage. Talk to you later.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay. Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, the used parts experts. Okay, we'll take a break. On the other side, the official lines for Nisku Ford, and we will hear from the head coach briefly as well for Vision Credit Union. It's on the way. It is the Titan Supply pregame show on Sports 1440.
The days are getting shorter, temperatures dropping. Time to take a good look at your furnace. Here's Dennis from Weiss Johnson with some pre-winter words of wisdom.
Don't wait. Get your furnace inspected sooner than later. Nothing worse than furnace issues when it's suddenly 40 below, right?
Absolutely.
And if it's time for a replacement, we offer the full line of energy-efficient Goodman furnaces. Your family will love the comfort, and you'll appreciate lower heating bills thanks to Goodman.
Weiss Johnson, your Goodman furnace experts for sales and installations. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
At Nisku Ford, we want your visit to feel as comfortable as a holiday gathering. When you shop with us, you're not just a customer, you're family. And we always give our family the best.
And the whole family is going to love our November deals. Find your favorite Ford, then choose from 0% financing or rebates as high as $10,000.
Nisku Ford to your holiday visits or make your wish list at niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Creek is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Touch base on the Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440. Keep your home warmer and energy costs down with a Goodman furnace installed by the pros from Weiss Johnson. Visit weiss-johnson.com for your new Goodman furnace.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Sports 1440 and the pregame show with Andrew Walker. We are Edmonton's sports leader.
Titan Supply pregame show continues. Just a few minutes away from the drop of the puck. Oilers and Sabres stop number 4 on this 7-game road trip. And then after, obviously, we end the pregame show, another hour of the Jason Gregor Show taking you right up until 6. They'll continue to update you on the game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca. The Weiss Johnson text line is open, and if you missed the over-under, it is a Matt Savoy point. So over or under 0.5. 1-833-401-1440 is the number to text to win $100 to the River Cree Resort and Casino. Okay, the lines for Nisku Ford, niskuford.ca all this month. Get rates as low as 0% or choose rebates as high as $10,000. Details at niskuford.ca. For the Oilers, no changes after their big win in Carolina. Savoy, McDavid, and Zach Hyman, nice to have number 18 back, that's for sure. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Roslovic, Mangiapane, Henrique, and Frederick. That line has to get going, no doubt. And then Janmark, Noah Philp, and Curtis Lazar. The D pairs, Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, Kulak, and Regula. And, of course, Stuart Skinner starts, and he's been a lot better as of late. We'll hear from the head coach on Skinner as well. For the Sabres, this is how they line things up, at least at the morning skate. Josh Doan, he's been a good first-year Sabre for sure, playing with Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck. Isaac Rosen, Ryan McLeod, and Jack Quinn. Greenway, Kozak, Krebs, and the fourth line, something by the name of Josh Dunn, playing with Noah Osland and Beck Mallinston. And the defensive pairings, Matthias Samuelsson. Low-scoring D, but already has 3 goals, including the OT winner the other night. Rasmus Dahlin is back in the lineup. And Owen Power, Jacob Bryson, and then Bowen Byram and Connor Timmins. And starting tonight is Colton Ellis will get the start in goal for the Buffalo Sabres. The lines for Nisku Ford. Okay, let's hear from the head coach. This is Chris Knobloch from earlier today on finding ways to win, but having more to give if you're the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, well, a lot of it has to do with playing 60 minutes. I think we've had stretches, not long period stretches, but whether it's a period or bits of one where we've looked sharp and played well. But, I don't know if there's been many games where we've, after it finished, where we said, we really liked the full effort from everybody and the whole team. So I think it's a lot of it just being a little more engaged, a little more intensity, energy, to find that push for, longer stretches.
All right. I just kind of extolled the virtues lately of Stuart Skinner, obviously, or it coincides with not a lot of faith right now in the backup either. But, here's the head coach. Thoughts on his goaltender, and is there anything different in his game with that confidence building right now?
Well, no, I think overall he's played very well. We've given up a lot of chances and puts any goalie in a difficult situation. But, these overtime wins that we've had lately, he's come up with some big saves late in games in the third period. And, the other night in Carolina, I don't know, it was a few minutes left, and there was a kind of a backdoor in tight kind of a play that he was able to stop and get a whistle for us. And, I think there's been times that he's made those big saves. Overtime at home, I remember him making a big east-west one-timer save, and then Roslovic goes down and scores on that breakaway. So a lot of good things. And I think right now he's been giving us the big save at the big time.
All right, there is Chris Knobloch for Vision Credit Union, investing 100% in Alberta and giving back to the communities they serve, visioncu.ca. Okay, another hour to go on the Jason Gregor Show. You got final thoughts as we get the puck drop here?
Well, we'll see what the order, if they can end their odd losing streak in Buffalo, which is strange. For as bad as the Sabres have been on home ice, they seem to control the orders. Leon Draisaitl
3-2. Every game is always 3-2.
The last 5. Yeah. Leon Draisaitl hasn't scored much there, so maybe he is due. But I'll say Manny Savoy gets a goal tonight, and it'll be interesting to see. So Speck and I will break down that and much more coming up. And then, of course, you're back with the post-game show coming in around like 7:45-ish.
Yeah, we'll take it right up until about 9 p.m. tonight.
9 p.m. tonight. All right, yeah. So check it out. Let's get to the Con Man, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Gourmet Markets. Their gourmet meals are made fresh, never boring, always chef-inspired. They have over 200 chef-prepared meals waiting for you. Loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Sabres out in Buffalo. Once this one wraps up, Andrew Walker back with post-game coverage. Elsewhere, you got the Bruins and the Hurricanes, Canucks in Florida taking on the Panthers, Capitals, the Kings, Canadians in Columbus, and the Ducks take on the Mammoth. And the NFL Week 11 concludes tonight. Raiders and Cowboys from Vegas. That gets going at 6:15. And then the Association, the Raptors taking on the Hornets. That one starts at 5:30 from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Touch base on the Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440. Keep your home warmer and energy costs down with a Goodman furnace installed by the pros from Weiss Johnson. Visit weiss-johnson.com for your new Goodman furnace.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered. With half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half-price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half-price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperatures dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, how are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As by the way, former Edmonton Oiler Jeff Petrie playing in his 1,000th game tonight as a member of the Florida Panthers as they host the Vancouver Canucks, and Yuri Patera starting in goal. And that one for the Edmonton Oilers, it's going to be Skinner versus Ellis. Stu Skinner has won his last 3 games. They're all in overtime. He kind of joked about it. Seems, man, every game I play, they go into overtime. The Oilers have been to overtime 9 times out of 20 games this year. 9. That is it's wild. It's absolutely wild when you're going to overtime 45% of your games. So it's good if you win them, but ideally, especially when you're playing Western division teams, conference teams, it'd be nice to win a few games in regulation so you're not giving them an extra point. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. NHL, the Oilers, of course, they're the favorite tonight on the road in Buffalo. Also, the Cowboys, actually not a really big favorite, only 3.5 points. Kind of like that for the Cowboys. I think it'll be an emotional game for them. So check out those games and more at PlayAlberta.ca. You always get the odds boosts on Oiler game nights. Let's get to the Spec Report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. As you make your way home, all the roadways you're driving on, the underground stuff, you don't even see it. That's what they do to keep us moving. GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Looking forward to a hockey game tonight. I don't know. Well, they don't usually score much in Buffalo, and they haven't been winning in Buffalo lately.
No, it's a very odd thing. Mike Harrington even said, he goes, yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's not like Buffalo has been good, right? Like the Oilers have been good, They just can't win in Buffalo. It's kind of and it's not like it's the old odd when they had the yellow crease and everything like that. The net with the rink was smaller. No, it's none of that. It's just for whatever reason they go to Buffalo and they haven't had much success. We'll see. It would make a really good start to the road trip if they get a win tonight. That's 3 out of the first 4 games. And give me your thoughts on that Carolina game. What stood out for you?
Well, I thought they were, it was one of those games where you can look at the negatives and find them if you want. But to me, and I'm a sports writer, so I'm not inclined to look at the positives, but they got a 2-0 lead. Carolina tied it up. They got a 3-2 lead. Carolina tied it up. They hung in there. They were pressured right to the end. I thought the Oilers were good in a very tough building where you don't usually get to win. I thought they were excellent. And, Stu Skinner was excellent. 3 goals against was no shame there. Like he's faced 36 shots. I guess what I'd say, Jay, is we're starting to see some elements of the team that the good Oilers team, like their PK was perfect. Their power play was 1 for 1. Their big boys were way better than the other guys' big boys. They got goaltending. I'm not saying it's all there, but in that game, I saw a lot of the things. Zach Hyman came in, was unbelievable. I think in that game, we saw a lot of things that reminded us of the Oilers teams that win a lot. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, I would agree. Well, it starts because their best players here for the last 5 games have played a lot better, right? And
it starts. Yeah.
And it starts because it makes everyone's job theoretically easier. Now, the bottom guys haven't really done much offensively at all, and they're getting outscored. So it's a terrible combination right now. So they definitely, and it doesn't matter which defense pair is on the ice, whether it's Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak. Kulak, stunning stat. He's been outscored 11-0 5-on-5 in the month of November, which is crazy. And now he doesn't play a lot with McDavid and Draisaitl. Okay, but eventually they need a little bit more here from their bottom 6 on both ends of the ice.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy like Kulak, I think let's face it, Brett Kulak's not going to score you goals. He's also saddled with either Regula, who was overmatched against Carolina. He just looked like a guy that I'm running him out there and playing him. Don't get me wrong, but that wasn't a great night for Regula. Kulak's playing with either Regula or with Emberson. So he's babysitting the guy pretty much a little bit when he's in there. And he's counting on some offense from the bottom 6 because that's who they play with. And, of course, there's been no offense from this bottom 6. So, yeah, Kulak's numbers aren't going to be any good. And until guys get going on that bottom 6, they're going to stay not very good. That's the next step. Like I said, they weren't perfect at Carolina. A lot of the elements that we were looking to see happen are starting to happen. Now, the next things that have to happen here are, I think the biggest part is the bottom 6 guys. Someone's got to kick a goal in here, a Curtis Lazar, Janmark, certainly a Troy Frederick. Somebody down there has got to get moving here and produce. What's the recipe, Jay? If your bottom 6 gives you a goal, if your top 6 gives you a goal, your power play gives you a goal, you get to 3, and 3 is usually enough to win.
Yeah, well, their power play is definitely being producing. Their top guys are now producing, and so your bottom 6, they just need more production from them. And if it's not production, then you need something from them, Spec. Because honestly, like you can go through a game and be like, did that guy play? Did that guy play? Like I didn't notice him, right? Like get a scrum, do something to at least show you're engaged in the game. And I think that's something that's been lacking. And I think the coach has clearly seen it with Frederick. Like look at his minutes. Since he, had the big fight, he's played 10 minutes, 9 minutes, and 7 minutes. So, like I said, it was great that he was willing to do it, but it's almost like, I'm like, God, you've been in the league long enough. You don't have to fight the heavyweight guy to get involved in the game. You know what? You want to fight, then pick a middleweight or go run somebody, right? Be aggressive. I think that'd be much. And like tonight, go into Buffalo and just be physical and be relentless on a forecheck.
Yeah, it's the old Craig McTavish principle, right? Bring something that I, as a coach, value and say, oh boy, I got to make sure that I play this guy enough because he brings this element to the game that I want in our game. And if you don't bring anything, the coach never finds a reason to play you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Frederick's got to figure that out. Whatever it is Frederick figures he can do for this team, he better figure out what it is and start doing it.
Yeah, and the other one is Darnell Nurse. Like, I got show some damn energy and emotion at times in the game, man. It's just for a guy who skates out well, is that big, plays that many minutes, I don't see him engaged enough.
Yeah, there's a fine line between being a veteran guy who keeps a cool head, who shows leadership by not freaking out when times get tough, who's seen a lot, done a lot, played in the big games. Like, you respect the fact that he's a real even-keeled guy. You want your veterans to be that way. But on a team that doesn't have much toughness, there is a time when Darnell Nurse has to show that, okay, I got this part of our team covered. We don't have 5 guys that are physical and might fight, or certainly will stand up for each other. We don't have 5 of those guys. We got like 2 or maybe 3. So I'm one of them. And the time does come where he has to fulfill that role. I think we said this the other day, Jay. You're making 9.25. You don't score a ton of goals. He's not a huge offensive guy. You don't play the power play. There is room in terms of you justifying that big fat salary. There is room. I think we all expect some physical play from Darnell Nurse. He's not doing enough other stuff that he can just push the physical side away and say, that's not my job. No. That is your job. And until you become a 50-point defenseman, it's always going to be your job.
Yeah. Mark Spector joins us. Spec, I think Stuart Skinner's game here for the month of November, I've quite liked it, actually. Overall, I think he's playing pretty well. I thought he was really solid again in Carolina.
Yeah, he was very good in Carolina. And the better the team is, the better he is. That's not a great revelation, but look at, like, we beat this one up. This is a year for him, and it's only November. So I'm the first guy to say I kind of wrote him off a little bit after that Colorado game, because he hasn't looked like this year's. 2 years ago he was really good. Last year he wasn't that good. This year we're waiting to see which goalie he is. And right now he looks like last year's goalie, not the 905 goalie from 2 years ago. Is it time that he can? Is there time to change that? Yes, there is, Jay. There's time to change that. He could have a hell of a November and December, and we could have us all singing a different tune here. So, he's going to get the starts. There's not another goalie coming in here anytime soon, that, to my estimation. So Skinner's going to get the starts. He's going to get the chance. His backup isn't exactly stealing ice time from him right now.
Oh God.
So it's there for Skinner. It's on a platter, man. His team's starting to play better. It's all there for him. If he can't seize it this year, he's never going to seize it here at Edmonton.
You mentioned the backup, and Calvin Pickard's numbers are not good.
Nope.
Now, I know people keep mentioning Connor Ingram. Like, Connor Ingram had a good game this weekend. Great.
He still let in 4, didn't he?
Yeah. But if you watch, like, he made, I talked to Ryan Holt, and he said, like, he made a lot of big key saves in the game. So,
Okay.
But he did allow one goal that he didn't like, he said. So it's still a progress. His other 3 games, like, I don't think he's close yet to come. The one guy I thought maybe because they had 3 goalies was Seattle and Matt Murray. And Matt Murray's making $1 million. He's got 1 year left on this is the last year of his deal. In theory, that's at least a conversation starter. Now, he got hurt on the weekend. So now, and injuries is a problem for him. So, that takes him out of the equation. There's not a lot of goalie options. That's the problem. But you might have to try to, be aggressive and look and say, okay, is there a guy in the American League system somewhere that we can look at? Because you can't go 2 more months here. Like, Pickard's either got to find his game or you got to find a different goalie.
Yeah, I think he'll be better. Like, I can't see how he's just finished. He's always been a good, solid, dependable backup goalie. That's what he is. He's not a number 1. He's not a 1A. He is a number 2, but he's been a good one. And there's nothing wrong with being a number 2. Every team needs one. I'm surprised that he's having a lousy start this year. And I mean, I'm not going to say to you, Jay, he's finished. It's over. He's never going to be a goalie that gives you an 898 save percentage again. I'm not saying that. Like you said, he had a bad month and a half, but I want to say this. I'm not saying I'd never give up on Cal Pickard. He's that valuable. He's so awesome. I'm never getting another guy. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I don't see anybody out there that makes me want to turn the page on Calvin Pickard yet. Not some guy out of the A, not Matt Murray, who's hurt 2 weeks out of every 4 in his career, not Connor Ingram, who you would be rushing, and that would be a bad idea. Like, let's talk about moving off of Calvin Pickard when there's a guy that's considerably better, not just some name out of the AHL who's never played. Like, are we really doing that? I don't think we're doing that. Are you?
No, but I'm looking at like Michael DiPietro, man. There's like Kevin Woodley talked about him a lot, and so a lot of people said when he went on waivers from Boston, that's a name they probably should have put a claim into, right? Like Ville Husso. There's guys out there if you want. Like because all I'm basing it on is Woodley's underlying numbers last year of Pickard. He was below expected last year. He's below expected again this year. Yeah, he won games last year. Won games because they scored a ton of goals. They didn't win games because he was you talked about allowing 3. Well, you had to score 4 all the time. And I just, tell your offense that's not an option.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, again, for sure, I feel like the goalie you're going to get, like the chances of making a trade for a goalie in Edmonton where he's so good, let's say it's UC Saros. Let's just say for fun. You'd have to trade Skinner out because the other team would say, I need a starter back.
Yeah.
The chances of making that trade to my eye are about 5%. The chances, right? The chances of trading for a guy like I'm not saying you're trading for Scott Wedgwood, but that kind of level of goalie. The chances of making that trade are probably what you're going to do. And in that case, you're replacing Pickard. You're keeping Skinner and you're replacing Pickard. So here's what I'm saying. You probably only have one goalie move here this year. And I'm not in a hurry to replace Pickard. I'm going to replace him eventually when I make the big goalie trade here. That's going to replace Pickard. It's probably not going to replace Skinner. So, unless Pickard is just so bad that he can't stop a puck and gets even worse, then maybe I'm forced to do something. But as it stands, I'm making my one goalie trade later this season, Jay, and it's probably going to be at the expense of Calvin Pickard for sure.
No. When you say get worse, Beck, he's .417 goals against average and an .830 save percentage. I don't think he can get worse. That's like
how many starts has he made?
He's made 6 starts. He's 30% of your games, which is where he should be, right? Like starting 3 out of every 10, and he's not like honestly, if you go into that game on Tampa Bay and he's your starter, do you have any confidence that they can win unless they light it up? That's my point, right? Like the way he's played through 6 starts this year is not remotely close to good enough.
Sure. I mean, maybe he forces Stan Bowman to make a trade. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm not saying that you can't replace he is replaceable for sure. But I think they'd rather he rehabs his game. And then when they make a goalie trade like closer to the deadline, which they're trying to do, can Stan Bowman do it? I don't know. That'll probably be the last we see of Cal Pickard. This is the last year of his deal, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it is. So anyway, sure. No one's arguing with you, Jay. You can't be 830 and keep an NHL job for long. It better go north here, and it better start pretty quick.
Yeah. Grey Cup came down to it, man. A forced fumble. You look at that guy's going to have a long off season in Montreal. And, you can argue, hey, do you just give it to your running back from 2 yards out? What if? But Saskatchewan had the lead basically the whole game, no, I know they were up 1-0 and then Montreal scored. But basically after that, I think they led for long stretches, were in control of it long. They made a huge defensive play. Their defense created 4 turnovers, full marks for them to win. What stood out to you in the Grey Cup game yesterday?
Well, it was turning into a classic Grey Cup finish until the quarterback fumbled the ball off the back of his own guy. I really thought it was wasteful on Montreal's part. Like I was, I'm just a fan in this thing, man. I don't cover the thing. I was hoping for Saskatchewan to win, but I was kind of hoping for Montreal to make it a killer Grey Cup finish, like we've seen so many of over the years. And it was a bit of a buzzkill when he dropped that ball, frankly. I was like, oh man, come on. You're 3 yards out. Like, I would be disappointed in that player that he can't protect the ball better than that. Nobody came and knocked it out of his hands, Jay. It didn't get punched out by an opponent. He basically dropped it because he ran in his own guy. I think you got to protect the football a little more than that.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, okay, like, are they going to get the 2-point convert? Like, I thought the touchdown was kind of inevitable at that point, but it happened, and hey, give Saskatchewan credit, man. And I won the square game spec, so I heard
that.
So that ends the drought, first time ever. So that was quite nice. It was It was good. So, Spec, enjoy it. And the Cody Fajardo and Trey Ford release is likely coming here in the near future for the green and gold.
Wait, both guys?
No. Fajardo was going to get a contract. He's not released. He'll get a contract. But Trey Ford, I think, is going to get released.
Yeah, I think it's time to listen. They've moved on from Trey Ford. Let the kid go off and find work elsewhere. It's not working out in Edmonton. That's something for another show, Jay. But we all cheered for him. We all loved the way he played. It didn't work out here. Try it in the next place. Hopefully, have better luck.
Spec, we'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. 5:20 will return. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate coming up. More on the Oilers and the Sabres, as well as Grey Cup and NFL. Woo, quite the playoff pictures rising. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're almost nearing must-win territory. We'll discuss that. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Bring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. Multiple CCMA and Juno Award winner, platinum-selling recording artist, and top 10 hitmaker. Celebrate the new year in Alberta, country style. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Hand delivering a hamper to a family in need fills everyone's hearts with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper program. Adopt a local family and see the difference your groceries and gifts make firsthand. Sign up today at holidayhamper.ca.
You know your neighbor, right? The one who watches your house when you're away, who keeps their yard looking nice, who says hello every day. That's us, GS Construction. Now, we probably don't live right beside you, but we do live in your community. And when it comes to water and wastewater infrastructure, moving along smoothly, we're the ones doing that work. GS Construction has been doing it since 1974, over 50 years. So you could say we are your neighbors who wear hard hats and work boots. To find out what your neighbors do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off. And with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stredler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.425, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. And, of course, Lotto Max tomorrow, $40 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. It is time for the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy, is in a wheelchair. Cam has always wanted to be on radio, but with his disability couldn't until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Lower body injuries. We hardly ever see them, do we? They live in shadows, whispered behind clipboards, hidden beneath layers of tape and tap dance language. But Sunday evening, under the swirling Grey Cup lights, one stepped out from behind the curtain. Fourth quarter, the clock, a miser, guarding its final minute. And then, suddenly, starkly, right there on the TSN broadcast, a lower body injury laid bare for all of us. Montreal quarterback Davis Alexander, unbeaten, unblemished, untouched by defeat's cold fingerprints. Remember that. Rolled left, dashed out of bounds near his own 40, and then agony. A jolt, a grimace, a kind of electric sting racing up his hamstring, the very one he strained in the East Final triumph over Hamilton. And then came the image that told the whole tale. Alexander hopping, lopsided, and hurting in the Saskatchewan bench area. A warrior suddenly made mortal. He limped, willed himself back to the Alouettes' huddle, dragging the moment behind him like a stubborn ghost. Undefeated? Indeed. But now wounded, Alexander could have tapped out. Could have nodded to the sidelines, surrendered to the pain, let the curtain fall early. That discomfort, not desire, dictated his destiny. Instead, Alexander chose defiance. He stayed in. He steadied himself. And with the season reduced to one desperate heartbeat, he uncorked a towering Hail Mary toward the Ryder end zone. A rainbow of hope launched from a leg that barely wanted to hold him up. It fell incomplete. Saskatchewan seized the Grey Cup. Alexander's undefeated streak, that glimmering thread, finally snapped. But did Davis Alexander battle? Oh, unquestionably. Ferociously. With a kind of quiet fury reserved for athletes who refuse, absolutely refuse, to let pain write the last sentence. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Kruger, Tate, weekdays. sports. 1440.
It was a great game. And, Alexander was clearly, you saw him when he winced on the sidelines there, and then they got back into it. And yeah, full credit for him. And it was, big win for Saskatchewan, their fifth Grey Cup championship in franchise history. And they will be enjoying that for quite some time. They were one of the best teams. Like it's sometimes you have a team that wins and it's kind of like an underdog, right? And you're like, oh, they won. And you're like, yeah, but they weren't really that good. Like all year long, they got hot. That wasn't Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan was a team that I think was kind of full marks, right? From start to finish. You can't really debate that they weren't good. Like, Patterson is definitely going to have a long off season, Cons, right? Like you're the backup guy. Like that's really kind of your job, a short yardage situation, right? And honestly, like I was watching it. I'm like, man, they're at least gonna get within two. And then you're like, God, can they make, like, it would be so, even if you don't make the 2-pointer, but now, well, you don't even have to if you get the ball back, now all you got to do is kick a field goal. You know what I mean? So there was lots of options still left in that game at that point. It was just because there was, I think, 3 minutes left when he fumbled, or 2:40, something like that, by the time the play ended. But that was, trying to think at the time, like a fumble that late that that basically changed any chance of you coming back to win.
Yeah, I mean, and I totally agree with what Mark Spector said. Like, I picked the Riders. That was my pick to win the game. They're the best team all season long. But for the storyline, like, if he converts that, all of a sudden, we got a heck of a finish coming up. And, you're just kind of robbed of that with that play. And it just kind of sucked. Like, it would have been a really good game. It already was a really good game, but it would have been even better had that happened. And it's going to be a long off season for him. And as you said, like that's the CFL, right? You're bringing in your short yardage quarterback. You're thinking, okay, like not automatic, but pretty close. And he just can't get the job done. On the flip side, good for the Riders. It's going to be a heck of a party down in Ryderville in the next couple of days here. Probably already started. It probably hasn't stopped, but yeah, for the Alouettes, that's just when they're going to be probably losing sleep over for years, because that's one you can't have it happen. You're a short yardage quarterback. Like ball security is job security. You got to hold on to that no matter what. Even once you get into the pile, it's going to be guys ripping at it. You didn't even get to that point. It's awful.
No, it wasn't. You're right. Like that was just that's a brutal fumble, right? Like sometimes you fumble because like you get rocked. The guy makes a very well timed, punch out of the ball. So
helmet on ball.
Yeah.
Like, nothing you can do.
Yeah.
That one was very avoidable.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Now let's get to your thoughts on the weekend in the NFL, and then we'll get back to the Oilers and the Sabres game. But the Chiefs lose, tight game. I don't know if you watch any of that game or not, but Pat Mahomes missed a lot of guys when he had them open in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I got a chance to, obviously cycling through a few games and the Grey Cup at the same time. He did. You can probably give a little bit of pressure to the Broncos defense for forcing the throws, but with 4 minutes left in the game, Chiefs had the ball. I said, I've seen this before. They're just going to milk the clock. They're going to get down, and Butker's going to punch through, a 17-yard field goal to win it. And credit to the Broncos defense. They got the stop, and it was the Denver Broncos who went down and did the other thing. And, Bo Nix made the plays he had to when they were there. And the road ahead for the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think it's impossible by any means, but you got the Colts next week. It's going to be a home game. So that's a beneficiary, but coming with the Colts coming off a bye week, Jonathan Taylor going to be rested up for that one. I still think there's a path to the playoffs, Gregor, because I think the Chargers will fall off with the injuries to their two tackles. Justin Herbert is just taking a beating. So I think there still is a path, but I would not have seen this coming, that the Chiefs would be in this position.
Yeah, the Chargers, that was Jacksonville just dominated them.
Yeah,
defensively in that game.
Every part of that game.
Dominated them.
Special teams, offense, defense, the Jags were far superior. It's tough to get Justin Herbert out of a game, but, even when he's got those injuries, he wants to fight through it. But he was just getting absolutely crushed. I think it was a 50% pressure rate in passing situations. Like, he had no time. Without Slater and all, that team just seemingly falls apart. But that doesn't affect your defense. And the Jags did a very good job running the football, even without their top receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. So, yeah, that was a dominant one. And that kind of, to me, I Chargers might win a couple games down the stretch, but they've got some tough challenges. They got the Broncos again. They've got the Chiefs, Eagles as well, Texans. So I think I hate to say it, but I think they might fall out.
Well, you look at the the remaining schedule here. The Ravens have suddenly won 4 in a row. They're one game back of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers just lost their starting quarterback for at least a few weeks, I would think. So they could be in trouble. Then you throw in they're still the Chiefs are still only 1 game behind Jacksonville, right? Jacksonville's 6-4. They're 5-5. Houston's 5-5. Houston, I think Houston plays Dallas next. But then you look over in the NFC, and you got the Eagles, the Rams, huge win, like Seattle. What do you make of their quarterback? Are you like, oh my God, Sam Darnold's good until the pressure's on, and then he's not good, or was it just a bad game?
I kind of lean that way because that's what we've seen. We saw that last year down the stretch against some of the divisional opponents. We saw it in the playoffs. I think Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. I think in those games, maybe you have to realize that and take the ball out of his hands just a little bit more. Make sure you establish the run to set up the play action pass, and just kind of play like you would play on the road. Let your defense do their job and don't help out the other side. Don't make Sam Darnold the guy who has to go out there and just tear apart a defense. Let your run game work. You've got Kenneth Walker, you've got Charbonnet. Let them handle the heavy lifting, set up the play action, and go from there. I think maybe a good learning experience for the Seahawks coaching staff to say, okay, maybe we take a little bit of the responsibility out of his hands. You don't want to fall behind in games because I don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be the guy to just will you back into it. But I think at this point, you have to say that's who Sam Darnold is. Just quickly going back to the Ravens, next 4 games, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. This winning streak could jump up to 8 quite easily.
The Detroit Lions lose a tight one to Philadelphia. That was very much a defensive battle. And the Chicago Bears win. They've won 3 in a row. The Bears are 7-3. Now, they're in a tough division, right? You got the Packers 6-3-1. And they got Detroit at 6-4. So they're definitely not in a guaranteed spot to win by any stretch of the imagination. But what do you make of the Bears and their chance of being a playoff team?
I'm not sold on it quite yet, to be totally honest with you. I mean, you go back to, they had a nice win against the Cowboys in week 3, their first of the season. Then they beat the Raiders by 1. They beat the Commanders by 1. They beat the Saints by 12. They got past the Bengals by 5, the Giants by 4, the Vikings by 2. I think they're on the right trajectory. I think it's a good thing that we're seeing this from them because this is the next step they have to take. But they do kind of remind me of that Minnesota Vikings team from a few years ago that lost in the first round to the New York Giants, led by Daniel Jones. The next few games, more of a test, I think. Steelers could be injuries, but you got the Eagles to wrap up the season, Niners and Lions. Like those games are going to be really tough with 2 meetings against the Packers right in there. We have to see what Jordan Love and how he's doing, but I'm not sold on them right now. I think that they're going in the right direction, but some of these games could have gone the other way.
Well, they got to beat the Steelers without Aaron Rodgers because after that, they're on the road in Philly, on the road in Green Bay. Then they got Cleveland at home. And I know Cleveland's offense isn't good, but my God, Garrett's got to win the defensive player of the year. He is just unreal right now, right? So, and then they got the Packers at home. They're at San Fran. They got Detroit at home. So Detroit, San Fran, Philly, the Packers twice, and Pittsburgh. Man, now if they can win 3 of those games, that gives them 10 wins. That's going to be close to get in at least a wild card spot, I would think. But they got a real tough remaining schedule for them. They're going to have to be better offensively than they have been recently. But I'm kind of intrigued by it. Their quarterback's intriguing to me. He's exciting to watch, good and bad. So, we'll see. But the Bears, it's up for grabs to see who even gets the number 1 seed in both. I know the Broncos and the Patriots 9-2, and they both have a bye coming up. Meanwhile, the Colts are 8-2. They played one less game, but if they win that game, they're tied as well. So and the fact that the Broncos and the Patriots have both won 8 in a row, dude. You win 8 games at any point, man, in the NFL in a row. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, similar to the Bears, I'm not quite as high on the Patriots as maybe some people.
They've had a pretty easy
still a team on the rise, which is good. You're not going to get mad about it. But yeah, it's been interesting. And, you talked about the Detroit Lions too. We got to criticize Dan Campbell a little bit for his coaching decisions here on 4th down from last night. And then, when the game's on the line, he starts punting it away. He was going for 5 in a row. They don't convert fourth down conversions, kind of questionable play calls as well. They were right in there in that game. Like, they were not in a position where they had to go for it. I love the aggressiveness, but as a Chargers fan, Gregor, I was having flashbacks to Brandon Staley year 2 and year 3, where it was just like, what are you doing? What are these decision making? Like, your defense is stopping them. You're playing quite well against Philadelphia. Pin them deep, get the ball back in good position. Don't give them these opportunities.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. What, it was 0 for 5, I think, on fourth down in that game. That is wild.
Yeah, and then when it was close at the end of the game, he's punting it away. It's like, flip those around and maybe you got me, or convert on 1 or 2 of them at least.
Yeah. You're looking at the Patriots schedule. So they lost opening week against the Raiders, and they beat Miami. Then they lost to the Steelers. Then they beat the Panthers, the Bills. The Bills, a big win. Beat the Saints. They beat the Titans. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. They did beat the Bucks. So they've won, 2 pretty big games. Then they beat the Jets. Now they got the Bengals and no Burrow. Now, Jamar Chase has been suspended for a game for spitting. Now, they say he's going to appeal. Does that guarantee that he can play this weekend, or could the appeal be heard before and he doesn't play?
I've seen in the past, I remember with steroid, like failed PED test, you could appeal and then drop it. Sean Merriman did that once, got a big game against the Rams, and then the next 4 games were kind of cupcakes. So he pulled back his appeal and just sat out for those games. I think there is a process to it. I don't know why Jamar Chase would appeal. You saw the video, right? He clearly spits at Jalen Ramsey. Like, it's not going to get overturned. So it would be an attempt, I guess, to play this weekend and then miss the one after that. But I feel like they're just kind of, it's not a spit to the face, a slap in the face to even try to appeal this one, because it's not going to get overturned.
Yeah, it does seem a little odd. So then they got the Bengals, the Giants.
Yeah.
Then they have a bye. Then it's the Bills and the Ravens, and they finish with the Jets in Miami. And so you look at it, they're in pretty good position here. You take care of business before the bye, then you're 11-2. That pretty much punches your ticket to the playoffs. And then, the Bills and the Ravens, those are 2 hard games. And then they've got the Jets and the Dolphins after that. So
if they can win 10 straight before their bye, that is so impressive. Vrabel's done a great job with that team. But let me just throw this at you. Let's say, hypothetically, they win the division, home field. Their first playoff game is against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see KC or a couple other teams go in there and beat them in first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they might have a first round bye, actually, too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's fair. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up, and talk a little Oilers and Sabres on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's 4th season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
Aloha, Edmonton. It's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off a $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm
obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Miss golf during the off-season? Of course you do. So head to the Leduc Golf Club and try their state-of-the-art golf simulators. Perfect your swing, enjoy delicious food and beverages, and even book a lesson with one of the Leduc Golf Club pros. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just starting, the Leduc Golf Club simulators offer a great way to keep your game sharp any time of the year. Call or visit the Leduc Golf Club today to book your spot and swing into action all year round.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca. Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
This Black Friday, unlock incredible savings with Quillo Concerts. Get 50% off our yearly and 2-year plans and enjoy unlimited access to the world's best concerts and music documentaries. Stream legendary performances anytime, anywhere for as low as $44.99 a year. It's the perfect gift for anyone who loves music. Visit stingray.com/deal and start streaming the world's best shows today. They sure saw you coming. You went in for about $200 in auto service, and by the time Johnny Slick out front was done telling you everything he thought you should have replaced, you got hosed for $3,000. Big Toy Shop won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. You'll know exactly what your service actually costs and when it's going to be done. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and you can play score and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:47. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. After one period, the Oilers trail the Buffalo Sabres 1-0. Ostlund on the power play was the only goal of the period. Not an overly riveting first period by any stretch of the imagination. Oilers took 2 penalties, Ekholm and McDavid. McDavid's kind of an obvious one who went to lift the guy's stick, got him right in the face. So shots were 7-7 in the period. The Oilers, not the most physical game by any stretch of the imagination. They had 7 hits. The Sabres had 6. So there wasn't much animosity in that game. And the Oilers just kind of another period where they didn't do much. They had one good chance. I thought Draisaitl coming down the left side looked like he shot the pad. Just got it a little bit too far out, and Rostovich was going for the rebound, and he missed it. They did have the one power play chance. Power play did not look good at all. Buffalo was very aggressive, and they never really got set up, and I'm not even sure if they got a shot. I'd have to look at it. But what stood out for you, Cons, if anything?
Not too much, to be totally honest with you. I mean, the power play did not look good. I was telling Declan, I don't like the shot selection when you're shooting kind of glove side from the opposite angle, and it just wraps right around, and you have nobody at the point. Draisaitl and McDavid, I think, both took shots from there. Kind of momentum killers for the power play. It's not much. It's one goal. There's plenty of time to get back into it, but man, got to be a little bit more discipline as well. I think for McDavid with the high stick, can't be taking those types of penalties.
True. So we'll see. Whatever. Their offensive struggles in Buffalo, man, they continue. The Oilers have they've scored 3 goals once in their last 5 tries going into to Buffalo. So they've scored like 2, 2, and 2. So not ideal. We'll see if they can wake up offensively in the third period tonight. Also, the Oilers game, by the time it's over, you'll be able to watch probably at least the second half, I would think, of the Monday nighter Cowboys and the Raiders. Like this seems like an obvious Cowboys win, doesn't it?
I would think so. I mean, the Raiders just don't have much going for them. The quarterback position, they have too many questions. You like Ashton Genty, but I don't think he's good enough in pass protection right now to have him out there for the entirety, 3 down back. The receiving core, not amazing. Brock Bowers is an absolute stud. Give him that. But I think if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you bracket him and make them find other ways to beat you because he is really good. And then on the other side of the football, it's Max Crosby. And how much can he do to slow down this Cowboys passing attack? When Dak gets rolling, I think he can be as good as anyone when it comes to slinging the rock. So you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Pickens. Maybe you try to wear down Crosby by running right at him and establish the run and attack him that way. But if you can neutralize him a little bit, I see no reason why the Dallas Cowboys can't get out here and put up a bunch of points on the Raiders defense.
Yeah, I would. Anybody who's got a Dallas guy going for them, see if they can win or not. Cons, I made it down to the final 7 in our Guillotine League. Started at 18, so got to the final 7. My team's okay. Like it's great. Everybody's team is decent now. It just comes down to who is which guys show up at the right time or not. And who's going to avoid some injuries. Now, the Jamar Chase, that's why I keep asking, because one of the guys in our league who has Jamar Chase, if he doesn't have Chase, man, that is a huge blow to his team. And so selfishly, I'd like it to be sooner than later. Just keep me alive for another week, right? You just don't want to finish 6th. Then you don't get anything. Like, you're close, but you're not close enough. So
if you finish, like there is prize for top 5 or something?
Yeah, top 5. Yeah, it just improves every week.
Do you have money to add to the roster, or is that all?
My fab dollars, yeah, I got a little bit left. Not a huge amount. I think I have the second least amount of the guys remaining. So, I don't have any glaring holes on my team, right? And so, like, you have other receivers, and you look and say, okay, I like that guy, but do I want to drop my guy for that guy?
Yeah.
So, because you can only, it's 2 receivers. Like, you want depth, sure, but it's not like you can blow the guys who have more money. Great, I guess if they really want someone, they could get them, but I'm not sure, Now, if you could beat John Robinson, that might be a difference maker, right? For sure. So it's more the running backs, like anything, right? If you can get one of those guys. So we'll see kind of how that goes.
What is the rest of the league like right now? Like, have they spent all their money? Like, potentially you're down to the last 3 teams. Could you get a Bijan for
No, I probably couldn't. Like, I would need a few guys. Like, I made a mistake. It's my first year playing. And so in like the 3rd week, I spent more than I should have. And so now it's come back to haunt me. And that's kind of how you learn. I never played Guillotine before, right? And so you're like, hey, but you got it, because you realize quickly, it's like, I don't have to finish. I don't have to win. I just don't have to be last. So change. You got to be like, okay, I like my team enough to believe in it that I think we can go. So we'll see. Enjoy the second and third period of the Oilers game. Walker and Paulson will be by to give you all the post-game reaction. Tomorrow, we will hear from the GM of the Condors. Keith Gretzky will be by to talk some hockey with us. Also, some more football. We get to the offseason of the CFL, and we'll break down the Oilers and the Sabres game and more. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any parts of the show, be sure to go to anywhere you get your podcasts or jasongregor.com, or you can rewatch everything on YouTube. Here's a Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers in action out in Buffalo, trailing the Sabres 1-0 after 20 minutes. Once this wraps up, we've got post-game coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Elsewhere at the first intermission, Hurricanes and Bruins scoreless. Canucks and Panthers tied at 2 apiece, and the Caps up on the Kings 1-0 midway through the first in Columbus. Jackets and